course, I pulled away. Did Denise photograph them? She was worried. You mean she searched my bag? Denise looked up. I needed to know what the doctor said because you would not talk to us. You asked me to sign a loan before the oxygen monitor was removed. My father closed the folder. And now you are creating another scene. Some relatives avoided my eyes. Others looked uncomfortable, but nobody challenged him. For years, that silence had trained me to doubt myself. That afternoon, it taught me who was safe. I left without signing their letter. Walking to my car, I wondered whether refusing that table made me cold or finally sensible. If you have ever had your private...
It's just been fucking problem after problem today. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
A quiet like or comment would have meant more to me in that moment than all the relatives who watched and said nothing. On Monday, I began charging the trust the administrative fee my grandmother had authorized. I resigned from unpaid work for my father's company and Denise's studio, transferred their files, and removed their access to my design account. My father called the invoice extortion. Denise said her opening would be delayed. My mother wrote that family service should not require payment. I forwarded everything to Adrian and answered nothing. The first real break in their story came from the anniversary videographer. Celeste had asked him to preserve his raw files for the venue's insurer. One wireless microphone had remained active near the bridal suite hallway before my collapse. My mother's voice was clear. She marked every scent restriction she could find. Removed the note and approved. She always has some condition when the attention is not on her. Denise asked, what about her inhaler? My mother answered, put the whole bag in the suite until after the test. If she sees it, she will start thinking she cannot breathe. After a pause, Denise said,
Yeah, I figured the game was glitching.
Look how high it is. Might be another gravity well.
It proves they knew the restrictions.
Take them out! Pretty sure. Focus on the remnant. If it gets us to the system lockdown, let's try. Okay.
The gravity well remains locked down. This device has defense in nature. Power restores the gravity well. The conduit leads down. Conduit flow pressure is variable. There could be activity below.
Then let's dig deeper.
And here we go again!
Unknown. Radiation counts indicate the vault has been offline for several hundred years.
Around the time the Scourge appeared. That can't be a coincidence. The Scourge is why all this tech was abandoned.
Or maybe the Scourge happened because the tech was abandoned.
Crap. The conduit sprang and break.
Careful. No way you can interface with a console like that.
And no fluids, no power. Demons. Maybe that's why those devices I brought were turned off. We're not turning them. There has to be some way to fix the leak. Without the conduit, there's not even enough power for a door.
I did not yet believe she understood the harm. For 6 months, all contact had to go through Adrian. My parents were not permitted at my apartment or the trust property without written authorization. My father replied that I should focus on the family's future. I did not answer. My mother mailed me the silver clutch with a note.
The conduit's breached.
Hey, wait! The observer using weird laser frequencies to pick up the global. I can send the frequencies to your Omni. Maybe they can patch up the conduit?
And received. I'll give him a shot. The system's responding to those frequencies. Just a patch job, but shoot home.
If it's fixed, that console should work now.
The hardest part was ordinary grief. I still wanted to reach for my
Looks like it worked.
There's even a bridge. You're a pal, right?
Where are you going?
We've got to be close to the system lockdown by now. First one gets the glory.
We'll catch up. If we got that door, we'll do.
The brass master key my grandmother once wore on a blue ribbon belonged only to me and the property manager. I spent a quiet Sunday at the smaller cottage. Reviewing leases while rain tapped the screen door. The silver inhaler rested beside my coffee. The brass key lay beside me. One had been hidden to keep me controlled. The other had been entrusted to me because my grandmother knew I could be trusted. I opened the window, let the clean lake air move through the room, and breathed before beginning the suspicion.
Will you look at that?
How do we get across?
Watch your step. It's still a long drop.
I press it back. My sister laughed when I asked to withdraw $150 and told the teller, "We don't serve beggars here." But when the regional director arrived the next morning, he looked at me, then at her, and whispered, "Please tell me you didn't humiliate this woman." "We don't serve beggars here." My sister's voice carried across the hall. I said National Bank, practiced the voice of someone who used to being heard. A few customers turned towards us.
Plants.
Tell me what the account
All the way to
was. Do the entrance.
See them too? The rabbits fun have messed up my eyes.
I stood
No
there
sunlight, no water.
asking for
They should all be dead.
The source of the system lockdown may yield more information. You appear to be close.
and smiled as if she had delivered the cleverest line of her life. "Are you sure there's even enough in the account?" She added. "Ready? Please tell them I'm on an overdraft." The teller's name tag said Lila. She looked young enough to be Monica's daughter. "Miss Welch," she said softly. "The balance is... I'm handling it. Monica got it." That was how my sister spoke.
Glad I didn't eat a big breakfast.
And anywhere else she believed her title made her. She had been the branch manager for 3 years, and her parents mentioned it as though she had been a better observer. I could feel heat going to my neck.
Company!
It wasn't for me. My neighbor, Ruth, was 7 years and her repair technician wanted a cash deposit. In a narrow balcony where I grew herbs and summer, my parents considered it evidence that I had failed to build a proper life. They didn't know about the office suite I leased downtown. They didn't know about the investment firm registered in Delaware. They didn't know that for the past 14 years, I had worked on and they certainly didn't know that Roman Harbor Capital managed more than $4 billion in assets. I hadn't inherited it. No wealthy husband had left it to me. I had built it slowly, beginning with the 60,000.
Looks like a side map. Still, could be anything in here.
I've been the only person in my family who understood that silence and weakness were not the same thing. He had owned 3 hardware stores.
It'll be
He
fine.
invested carefully his entire life. When he became ill, I helped him organize his records. I noticed billing errors, duplicate invoices, and fees his financial advisor had over.
Just the light.
You see patterns.
See, absolutely fine.
Things don't match. After he died,
Damn it.
It's okay. It's fine.
I spent nights building financial tools for small firms
Phew.
and developed a forecasting system that became valuable enough to attract institutional clients. The growth had been gradual, private, and deliberate. I kept my name out of public materials whenever possible. My chief operating officer handled conferences. My general counsel handled negotiations. Most people who work with Roman Harbor knew C. Roy as an intense leader. To publicity, my family knew only that I did computer consulting. Monica once asked whether I did fixing printers. I had said sometimes.
Observers coming up at us!
After leaving Bruce apartment, I opened up monthly banking exposure for my team and sent clear every week. Roman Harbor kept assets with several large institutions.
Where?
My sister's bank was part of a corporate that held almost $4.2 billion in investment accounts. I leaned back in my chair. For several minutes, I did nothing. I could have called Monica that night. I could have told her it was.
Well, that answered that.
But humiliation had never been the only problem with my sister. League service workers existed with either.
Armor hydraulics
She
compensating.
did not trust me. She once told her mother that elderly clients.
Oh, shit.
That bit's slippery.
She bragged about rejecting a small business loan application because the owner had brought his documents in a grocery bag. He looked broke, she said. Was the business broke? I asked. I didn't need to get that far. Our father laughed. That memory bothered me more than her insult. A branch manager who publicly humiliated her sister might also be humiliating customers who had no private leverage, no executive team, and no ability to make anyone listen. So I didn't call Monica. I called my general counsel. He answered the fourth ring.
We're 2 gravity wells down already. This place goes even deeper. What's at the bottom?
Let's not find out the hard way.
Bridge. There was a pause. Is this connected to Meridian? Yes. What happened? The branch manager denied me normal service and modeled me publicly over $150. Did she know?
We've got a path to... Whoa!
She's my sister. David exhaled. It doesn't make the compliment acceptable. Leave my daughter. Facts. If the culture is as bad as I suspect, we move the assets. All of them. All Meridian-held assets. That will trigger executive escalation. I know. After we ended the call, I sat in the darkened room with only the laptop screen rolling in front of me.
Wow, this took me way fucking back. That's
He
annoying.
gave me a small walnut box with a brass key inside. The key had once opened the office of his first hardware store. Beneath it was a note.
Well, you look at that.
How do we get across?
My desk. For years, I directed it as a
Watch your step. It's still a long drop.
understood the other half. Protection systems required force. At 8 the next morning, David sent the
Wait, plans? All the way to
Wizard Ranch had received.
You see them too? All the gravity fun had messed up my eyes.
No sunlight, no water. They should all be dead.
The source of the system locked down for more information. You appear to be generous.
Customers dwarf fee-heavy products. One complaint came from a retired teacher who said Monica had discussed his insufficient funds loudly enough for the Another came from a restaurant.
I'm starting to get the hang of
Monica called his complaint a professional before declining to review his
Company!
between Miss Wan and the branch manager yesterday. Yes. What happened?
Looks like a side road. Still, could be anything here.
You will not face retaliation.
Oh.
Miss Wan,
It'll be fine.
$150. Miss Walsh interrupted and said we didn't serve beggars. She also questioned whether
See,
Miss Wan had
absolutely fine.
other customers are
Just the light.
paid through between sisters. It wasn't, I said. Personally, Stephen raised one hand. Let's move this discussion into the conference room. Monica led us there with stiff shoulders. Still acting as if she
Perhaps. I think that's the right way. We can reach it. Observers coming up at us!
Monica sat beside Stephen without I'm less interested in
Armor hydraulics compensated.
People get angry when you're told no. Wait, then you instructed staff to delay customers you consider likely to choose. He continued. That's
That
how
bit
the
slippery.
interpretation. Monica sat near the door, hands moved. Stephen asked Monica, did you use the phrase body traffic?
Got a pass! Whoa!
The rescue officer said it was her. It is not. Monica's confidence began to grow. She looked at me. Exactly do you want clear?
Let's not find out the hard way.
Instead, he sat very still. I continued. When Harper placed those assets with Meridian because we were told the organization had strong controls, responsible leadership, and a culture that
Too far, even for jump jets.
Monica whispered, "Your secret." Yes. The room seemed smaller after that. Stephen with his hands.
That is cool.
Monica pushed back from the table. Suspended. This is insane. She was using company money to punish me over a family argument. It is not company money.
All that time on ES.
To pension.
This was right under our feet.
Foundations, university endowments, and private investors who trusted my firm to choose
Feel that?
responsibility.
This whole platform's resonating.
Examine the branch.
Something.
The branch
We must be close.
Meridian's decision to ignore repeated complaints made an institutional risk. She shook her head proudly. You learned this because you made me. And nothing yesterday morning except how many felt the woman would bear for us.
No question. This is the heart of our wall.
Understood anyway.
I've never seen anything like it.
Any irreversible decision. I asked that you
All contacts converged here.
investigate
That must be lockdown.
your organization already had situation. Your sisters will be out. Your people surrender your plans. Some of this about the branches really didn't matter. But the way those customers were treated. Stephen's jaw tightened. Assets to two competing institutions over a controlled 90-day schedule. A measured transfer, not a theatrical overnight withdrawal. It would still cost Meridian significant fees.
Any thoughts, Sam?
Unknown, though it appears related to the lockdown. An in-depth study may reveal its purpose.
It began breathing too quickly.
The system lockdown is disabled. The vault in the atmosphere processor should return to full operation.
You do this to me. I'm not doing it to you.
Ryder, you fixed the lockdown, didn't you? The whole place is lighting up. Power readings are off the chart. Really off the chart.
But if it's back online, it should be good.
Claire, please. I've worked 12 years for this position. And how many people could you make use of?
Should we go? Baby, get back to the entrance now!
I saw it! What is that thing?
Don't risk it, just go! Watch out! Vent!
It would be wise to stay frightened.
I know, Sam!
Too far to jump! Got another bridge? Keep running!
Yeah, this is where it gets really fun, folks.
Another gravity well!
It could go anywhere!
It goes away from here! We're taking it! It's still coming!
Sweeping the whole hole! Killed everything in its way!
Yeah, like us! That's the door to the end! Almost there! The barrier's gone!
You can tell him do this. I look to you too, Mom. Monica may lose everything. She may lose her job. Her career is everything to her. That might be part of the problem. Mom made a wounded sound. Your sister made a mistake. She mistreated customers and employees for years. She was under pressure. So were the people she humiliated. Claire, families forgive. I looked across my apartment at the walnut box on my desk. Families also protect. Yes, exactly. So protect your sister. That isn't what I meant. Dad took the phone. His voice came through hard and impatient. Make your point. Call whoever you need to call and stop this nonsense. I can't reverse a fiduciary decision to preserve Monica's reputation. Don't use business language with me. It is a business decision. It's revenge. Yesterday gave me a reason to look. What I found gave me a reason to act. You should have come to us first.
I saw it! What is that thing?
Don't risk it, just go!
3 days later, my parents asked if we could get I merely declined.
Watch out! Vent!
It would be wise to stay frightened.
I know,
Yeah,
Sam!
no shit, Sam. Working on it.
Too far to jump! Got another bridge?
I look back, right on his back.
At least help her find another job. She has experience. She can apply. You destroyed her references. Dad snapped. I did not like the investigation. You started it. I reported what happened.
Another gravity well!
It could go anywhere!
It goes away from here! We're taking it! It's still coming!
Sweeping the whole hole! Killed everything in its way!
Yeah, like us!
And the complaints, they were exaggerated. The staff turned people jobs. The pressure to target customers with high products.
That's the door to the entrance! Almost there! The barrier's gone!
Get that thing if you want, but it's going to be closed.
Get the fuck out!
We're almost clear. Where are you? Hello? Phoebe?
bitch, run!
Go, 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 go!
Right on our heels!
Get to the ground well!
Not moving. Find an override.
Console is attempting service connection. Restart is now complete.
And I'm not discussing my finances with this family again. Face rent.
That was... Talk about a rush.
Yes, I do.
What was that?
Pause, no.
Feel.
Turn into my back.
Might have been sweeping the vault. Or chasing us.
An immune response? Maybe one last scrub for startup? This place is full of surprises.
Mom began crying harder.
We have to be more careful. That field almost disintegrated us.
I'm not punishing you.
But it didn't. You want to focus on that or the cool fold you just activated?
Atmosphere processor is online. Recovering past console activity.
Is that the Helios cluster?
Yeah. There we are. That's Eos. Whoa.
Did restarting the system do that?
If that light is us, all these points would be vaults out of worlds. Dormant in this one.
Maybe. But why is there a whole network of them? What's all this for?
This tech can create observers from nowhere, or ravage a whole planet. And that's just what we're seeing. The bots, those plants back there, the atmosphere processors.
Back home, some corporation in a desert world with an ice climate. They changed the atmosphere to spring rain.
To help it support life.
That first processor we saw was making things worse, but maybe it malfunctioned.
Is that what these builders were trying to do? Make worlds habitable? Even terraform a whole cluster?
Hey, look there. That's different. Maybe it's active. We've got to go see.
Sam?
Extractivity. These coordinates might be on the space we are currently surveying, Pathfinder.
Mark it on our charts. We need more to go on. Let's head up to the surface. I could use some fresh air.
I heard through Paige that she still told people I had ruined her life over $150. Maybe that story was easier to live than the truth. Ruth's furnace lasted through winter. In spring, I helped her plant rosemary, lavender, and tomatoes in raised beds behind our building. I also funded a small reading garden beside the neighborhood library in Grandpa Arthur's name. Ruth insisted on donating the first bench.
Look at that sky.
How? No atmosphere processor works that fast.
If this effect is unrepresentative, Pathfinder, air and moisture patterns will show noticeable improvement. Eos can support an outpost.
A foothold. That's all we need. Just enough to begin. This remnant technology can be the key to our survival, if we can control it.
You can. Kind of. Still, wouldn't hurt to find a manual.
We've got a lead. Sam marked it on the chart stuff. That site is active, whatever it is. Who knows what we'll find there.
We? You want to come along?
I want to know what makes the remnant tick. You've got a key to their technology. Or a crowbar, basically.
Welcome aboard. We'll get you a fancy job done.
I only need a footlocker. Data pad, toothbrush, clean underwear. I'll catch up with you.
Well, this will be interesting.
Now for our new outpost.
this feed on the radar. Pods are inbound and ready.
Let's go make it happen.
I like those pre-trip vision paintings of future EOS. Green fields, rivers, forests. Wonder what it'll really be like down the line.
Fewer death storms would be nice.
We'll get there. Pathfinder is enough to tip the balance.
This is where Chief Reynolds died.
Soundstorms would have buried the body long ago. I suggest scanning.
It starts with how Ashley is so stressed, and the kids would love to see their favorite aunt. It would be so much
Pathfinder, there is an armor piece buried deep. A leg sensor. Scan indicates tissue and bone fragments clinging to it. DNA identified as Chief Reynolds. Indications suggest his body was torn to pieces.
and somehow never has money to chip in for it.
So the Chief became Carnage.
Circle of life.
The remaining armor may be scattered, or perhaps brought to a nest. The chest piece and his Omni tool may explain his death.
Then we keep searching and scanning.
Only had 2 bedrooms. While Ashley's kids destroyed the place, they broke a lamp, spilled juice on the white wall. Ashley just showed up. I planned differently. In January, I started telling my family I was planning a trip to Florida in August. I showed them our shores, talked about the beaches I wanted to visit, sent Ashley. Even went on the floor to sunset his house. Here's what I actually did. I booked a 2-week trip to I didn't tell anyone. Not mom, not I kept every confirmation email in a separate folder. I requested the time off work, but told my boss to keep it confidential if anyone called asking. Sure enough, 3 weeks ago, Ashley called mom sobbing.
Now I get to solve a murder. Let's do this.
Explanations like this made a lot of kids think of alien worlds.
Water and weather. Nothing tough.
Talked for 5 whole minutes about how Ashley really needed this, how the kids had never seen the ocean, and how it would mean so much if we could all go to Florida together as a family. I said, sure. I started sending Ashley totals that slept 8 people. I texted her about waterparks nearby. I even had a whole group chat going with mom and dad about what groceries we should buy. When we got there, Ashley kept saying she was tight on money. So I said, don't worry, we'll figure it out. Which obviously meant I would end up paying for most of it, like always. 2 weeks ago, I told them I found the perfect beach house and sent them the Airbnb link. Mom immediately said we should book it. I said the dates I wanted were August 10th through 17th. Everyone agreed. Ashley started making packing lists for her kids. In the
Pathfinder, the scanner picked up Chief Reynolds' chest piece, confirming single shot. Unable to determine weapon type, but entry point was at the back. Exit mask through the chest.
By all accounts, Milken was in front of the Chief when he fired. So it wasn't his shot that killed him.
The Chief's Omni tool might shed some light.
her husband's bonus didn't come through, so could she pay me back in installments starting in September? I said, no, I needed the money up front because the house required full payment. She got mad and said I was being unreasonable and that family helps family. Wednesday, mom called me saying I was being too harsh.
picking up additional armor scraps. I believe it's a trail leading to a cave nearby.
Could be where the nest is located.
Flashing repeatedly, punctuated by mom every few minutes. I silenced it, flipped it face down, and finished packing my thermal layers. My flight to Reykjavik was at 4 p.m. I had requested an Uber for 12:30. The apartment was quiet. For the first time in years, the pre-trip anxiety was
Nice work.
forced to pay for a family dinner that included 3 appetizers and dessert for everyone. The anxiety.
Got 'em all.
Checked my folder. Passport, booking confirmations for the
Pokeball's out.
glacier hike tickets, Blue Lagoon reservation. It was all there. Around 10 a.m., my doorbell rang.
Alright, we're getting out of the nitty-gritty on this planet.
But Ashley lived only 15. If they decided to stage an intervention, they could be here. I crept to the people. It was Greg.
It's a carcass nest, all right. Fan out.
I thought we were watching the game. Greg, I am so sorry. I forgot to tell you I'm leaving. Leaving for Florida? I thought that fell through. Your mom posted a very passive-aggressive Facebook status about disappointments this morning. I winced.
Confirming initiative equipment, including orbital assigned to Security Chief Hiram Reynolds. If you power it up, I can exhibit its data. Accessing data. The Chief was scanning at the time of death. The scan picked up 2 shots. 1, a standard initiative rifle report, which missed. The other from behind, a Ket pulse weapon.
They are going to murder you. They have to find me.
Seems clear to me. Good work.
Pathfinder, there is also an audio recording.
Go ahead and play it.
Where's Nelkin?
Sorry, friend. Had to do it. I'm not dying on this rock.
That sounds like...
Confirming. Voice identified as suspect, Milken. So he did not kill the Chief.
But he meant to. Need another chat with him.
Just a small one. It hit me when I saw a family in a security room. 2 exhausted parents wrangling a toddler who was trying to eat the stanchion belt. That could have been me. I could have been the designated auntie holding the diaper bag while Ashley went to get a Starbucks. But then I ordered a glass of wine at the terminal bar, opened my book, and realized that for the next 2 weeks, the only person I had to take care of was myself. The guilt evaporated. Iceland was otherworldly.
Generator interface possible. Location marked.
There was something very wrong with the second outpost they made.
More wrong than deadly radiation.
Whatever it was, Site 2 made a special project to handle it. Let's keep it in mind for later.
Don't put that on me, I said, unlocking the lobby door. I didn't cancel the trip. I just didn't pay for it. You lied.
Wilcox thinks I'm crazy, but I know what I saw. Eyes on the mountain, watching us. We're not alone out here.
Boundaries, Ashley. I knew if I told you I was going away, you'd find a way to make it about you. And look, I was right. Even now, you're not asking how my trip was. You're laughing at me because I didn't fund your vacation. It's not about the money, it's about family. If it's about family, I said, turning to face her by the mailboxes, then why is it always me paying? Why is it always me babysitting? Why am I the only one who sacrifices my time off? Because you're single. You don't have responsibilities. You have money to earn. The entitlement hung in the air. Luckily, I have money because I work, I said calmly. And I have responsibilities to myself, which I finally honored. Mom is devastated. She threw out her trust. Mom will get over it or she won't. I'm going upstairs. Ashley, do not follow me. I got into the elevator. She stood in the lobby fuming. As the doors closed, she shouted, "Don't expect an invite to Thanksgiving." Promise? I muttered as the car ascended. The silent treatment lasted for a month. It was glorious. I went back to work refreshed. I showed my colleagues the photos. I started taking a pottery class on Thursday nights. Then the flying monkeys arrived. First it was Aunt Linda posting snide comments on my Facebook. Must be nice to Jen while family struggles. I deleted and blocked her. Then Dad called. "Look," he said, sounding wary. "Your mother is really upset. She feels like you deceived her." I did deceive her. Remember the Montana cabin? I know. Ashley's pretty fine, but you know how she is. She relies on me. She's not she has a husband. She shouldn't be alone. Her sister. Just what I'm excited to
Pathfinder, this is the spot where Nigel McCoy wanted you to meet his pendant.
In honor of his brother, Dash McCoy.
working as a nanny and an ATM. I love you guys, but I'm done being the resource you mine when you want a break. Mom looked at Dad. Dad looked at his peas. We worry you're drifting away. Mom said quietly, "I'm not drifting away. I'm growing up." But the line had been drawn. 2 months later, I almost didn't answer, but curiosity
failure here was expensive, Pathfinder. It's worn all of us down, not just our shuttles.
There we go.
Sam? What was that?
An eidetic trigger related to your father and the portions of my memory array he locked.
What triggered it?
Panic tied into your progressions, Pathfinder, not to your location. Puzzling as it may be, my programming is clear. Locating more of these triggers will unlock the memories. One of your father's memories is now accessible. Return to Sam.
And as I sat in a ramen shop in Shinjuku 4 months later, slurping noodles and watching the rain fall on the neon streets, I realized something. I hadn't just saved my vacation that year. I went to Iceland. I had saved my relationship with my family by forcing them to function without me. They had learned slowly, painfully, to stand on their own. They learned that I could love them without setting
All right, I need to run to the restroom, grab some coffee. I'll be right back. Hang tight.
Ashley looks good. Don't forget the Kit Kats. I smiled.
There are no elites, unstable plans, and federal law enforcement has no authority, period. And to test this uncontroversial fact and the malignancy of this cancer that we call nationalism, all we have to
get mad at me. You're the one who brought this whole round about illegals. It used to be only the actual natives and black and brown people, a few John Browns, who were well aware of this broken culture of criminality. But now that you've brought it all the way up to everybody's attention, including the whitest of us and their friends group, we just wanted to have brunch, let the rest of us eat crumbs, and get bombed. Now everyone's realizing this was never about immigration. Everyone outside the Epstein class is both a target and a mark. And so this revolution is a rolling snowball, and it's getting bigger by the day. So I think we will be having some of that cake now. All of us looking at the whole history of Empire seeing not one of you has any claws on. I don't think you have any idea how angry that makes us. Even Tom's radio trained us to call it getting colonizers on the same tested and British master. Even Reed worked as a natural way to share God's will and private landholders who trusted us. Closing off the colonies. So now that this enormous extraction project has been reached its terminal stage, it's time to collect. A government built on conquest, slavery, and grand theft real estate, and genocide has no authority to decide which humans deserve to exist in which places. All of this land is holy. All of these people are our people. No human being is illegal. Only systems can be illegal. Only regimes can be illegitimate.
Life support levels critical. Please seek safety.
About which ones those are.
Life support is failing.
Really?
For one, it's kickoff. What they do is simple. They give you a
At 11 p.m., my wealthy husband's daughter marched in with her husband, dragging 2 oversized suitcases. Dad said we're moving in. Before I could even answer, she shoved a list into my hand. Breakfast at 6. No greasy food. Fresh sheets every week. Scrub our bathroom every night. Hand wash our clothes. No maids. No help. Then she looked me up and down. Since you're living off my dad, you might as well earn your keep. I smiled. Okay. At exactly 6 the next morning, Vanessa found breakfast waiting, but she also found 3 envelopes beside the coffee pot. One held paid leave notices for the household staff she had ordered me to live with. One held the keys to the guest suite. The third held a copy of the will that she had given me to sign in the box for my husband. Dear will, she said. We understand how rude your husband Aaron thought you. He apologized for
Radiation levels have spiked to Pathfinder. Radiation within safe levels. Life support is back online.
That wasn't my question. His smile thinned. We can talk later. At 8, my access badge stopped working at the Bellwether House, a charitable project I had spent 4 years building. By 9, an email announced that someone would replace me as acting chair. By noon, Daniel's assistant had canceled every meeting on my calendar. The list had never been about breakfast. Daniel owned a national chain of boutique hotels, but Bellwether House was supposed to be different. It had been a railway hotel, empty for almost 20 years. I had convinced Daniel's family foundation to use it right as a training center for women returning to work after care gap.
Approaching Site 2. Resistance.
It was sold as the one we get right, but it didn't have time to get worn down. Got wiped out again.
That datapad said Site 2 was working on a project. Keep an eye out for it.
Vanessa did not, because Daniel liked telling people he had rescued me from the He had given me the original brass key to Bellwether House. It was the electronic locks, but I kept it on a blue ribbon in my desk. To me, it meant that an abandoned place would be useful again. That morning, the security guard looked miserable as I held my dead badge against the reader. Mrs. Bennett worried about me.
portable cover of Ket design.
Lexi, update records for Trinitas Gordax.
Consider it done, Pathfinder.
Families help each other. Daniel slid an invitation across the desk. The Foundation's donor luncheon was the next step. My name had been removed from the program, and Vanessa's appeared above the word Executive Director nominee. Come as my wife, Daniel said. Smile. Let people see there are no hard feelings. From him to his daughter. Vanessa arrived with 2 suitcases, but her name had been printed on that invitation days earlier. Of course, I said.
Didn't need to finish unpacking.
Ket were on them from the start. Held at a private club where Daniel had hosted business dinners for years. More than 100 donors were seated when Vanessa touched my elbow and guided me away from the front table. Family sits here, I said. She pointed to a chair beside the kitchen doors. A small card read, Morgan, guest. Leadership sits up front, she replied. Then she leaned close enough for only me to hear. Some women marry into a legacy and mistake the guest room for the throne. Today, people will remember which one you belong in. I sat down because every face had turned toward us. Halfway through lunch, Daniel walked to the microphone. He praised my early enthusiasm, then said health and judgment concerns required a leadership change. A screen behind him displayed an expense report bearing my electronic approval. It showed a private spa retreat, a luxury car service, and a ballroom rental totaling nearly $40,000. Whispers moved across the table. The Foundation will absorb the mistake, Daniel said gently, playing the disappointed husband. Laura will take time away from financial decisions, and Vanessa will help us restore accountability. Vanessa lowered her eyes with perfect humility. Aaron stared at the tablecloth. I read the ballroom line twice. Magnolia Hall, West Ballroom, anniversary reception. The date was a Tuesday in March. Last Tuesday, I had been speaking
Looks like a war zone.
According to survivors, the Ket had all sides. It was a massacre.
started, I stood and left through the kitchen. Emily caught up with me near the loading dock. I know you didn't She hesitated. The donor
Lexi, I've got another one.
Standing by, waiting for your scan.
It came from Vanessa's guest account. Did you save it? No, she deleted the queue. I gripped the brass key in my pocket until its teeth pressed into my palm. If you've ever had someone use your own
Y'all are spicy.
Records updated, Pathfinder.
until I reached my car. Was I wrong to leave instead of defending myself in that room? If you think silence can be strength,
Pokeballs out.
please leave a like. If you would have stood up right then, tell me in the comments. I truly wondered whether walking away had made me look guilty. Daniel came home after midnight. He placed a glass of water beside me as if kindness could erase a public accusation. You handled today well, he said. No scene, no embarrassments. You told a room full of donors I misused charity money. I said you made mistakes. Vanessa needs a position, and the board needed a clean explanation. For what? He rubbed the bridge of his nose. Her design business is in trouble. Aaron's contract ended. Giving her bellwether solves several problems. That answer sounded practical, almost fatherly. It was also incomplete. A job did not require a false expense report for 6 midnight visitors. He said a document beside my water. It said I was voluntarily taking leave and accepting responsibility for weak financial controls. If I signed, the Foundation would not seek repayment. You have until Friday, he said. After that, the board decides without you. I read the last page. Tucked inside was a transfer form for the brass key, building records, vendor contacts, and all intellectual property connected to Bellwether House. You want the project, not just the chair. The project belongs to the family. The trading program belongs to the nonprofit. He gave me the look he used on managers before firing them. You live in my home, Laura. You use my name. Don't force me to remind you how much of your life depends on my patience. I set the pen down. Friday then. The next morning I followed Vanessa's rules exactly where they touched her and no further. I made breakfast for myself. I changed the sheets in my room. I cleaned the bathroom I used. When she asked where her tea was, I pointed to the cabinet. The list says breakfast at 6. It doesn't say I serve it. Her face tightened. Dad will hear about this. Please tell him accurately. Schedules. Their employment contracts were with me, paid from my separate account, not Daniel's. Vanessa tried to dismiss them again, but the house manager asked her for written authority. She had none. That small boundary changed the air in the house. Aaron began carrying his own dishes to the sink. Vanessa stopped giving orders when witnesses were near. Daniel moved money from our joint checking account and expected me to panic. I transferred my personal expenses to the account I had kept since Bennett events and said nothing. That afternoon, I called Magnolia Hall. The manager confirmed there was no West Ballroom and no event under my name, but she remembered Vanessa touring the building with a commercial developer 6 weeks earlier. They weren't looking at our ballroom, she said. They kept asking about comparable renovation costs. The next clue came from a florist. An invoice in the expense report listed centerpieces for my supposed anniversary reception. The florist had delivered nothing. Someone had paid her a small consulting fee to create an estimate that looked like an invoice. Okay, my bad. A man named Peter from Morgan Hospitality. Peter was Daniel's acquisitions director, so I tested the lie. I emailed Daniel and Vanessa that I was prepared to sign if the board gave me the original vendor files and the midnight visitor list. Vanessa replied within 3 minutes. There were no midnight visitors, she wrote. The badge record was a software error. I had never told her about 6 badges. When I showed Emily the message, she sat back slowly. She knew the number. Yes, Emily looked toward the restoration office. There may be another.
Hang on, checking tabs.
Wireless microphone automatically saves a backup file to the production.
Plus, I was eating a quick
console. We tested the new
snack.
system the night those badges were issued. Was anyone wearing chair. I named the date, the badge issue, the printer activity, and the automatic audio backup. I didn't accuse anyone. I asked that no digital record be deleted before Friday's vote. Daniel called within 4 minutes. What are you doing? Protecting Foundation records? You made a private family problem look criminal. I used the word preserve. You supplied the fear. He hung up. That evening, Vanessa blocked my way at the stairs. Her sweetness was gone. Withdraw that request. Why? Because Dad is trying to protect you. If auditors dig through everything, people will see how little you actually contributed. Then the records should comfort you. She followed me into the library. You think a few cooking classes make Bellwether yours? My family paid for that building. Donors paid for most of the restoration. Dad can move those donors anywhere he wants. Aaron appeared in the doorway. Vanessa, stop. Stay out of it. I can't. Not anymore. He moved to 6. He unzipped one of the oversized suitcases, beneath their clothes were foundation binders, vendor stamps, and boxes of blank expense forms. Vanessa tried to close it, but Aaron held the lid open. Daniel told us Laura had been stealing, he said. He said we were moving in to watch her and secure the records. He promised to clear our mortgage if Vanessa helped remove her. I believed him until the luncheon. That report used a receipt from a restaurant where I was the one who took clients. Vanessa's face drained. Aaron, you told me the charges were real. Dad said they could be reassigned. He said it was bookkeeping. I looked at the suitcase that had scraped across my floor at 11 at night. It had not carried only clothes. They had brought the machinery of my humiliation into my home and expected me to wash shirts above it. Still, it was not the full answer. Clearing a mortgage did not explain Peter, the developer, or the rush to transfer Bellwether's intellectual property. The independent counsel found the audio file the next morning. She did not send it to me. She scheduled an emergency board meeting at Bellwether House and requested that Daniel, Vanessa, Aaron, Emily, Peter, the audit chair, and I attend. She also invited the city officer overseeing the restoration grant. Daniel arrived confident. He believed money made every room his room. Vanessa sat beside him, but Aaron chose a chair across the table. I placed the unsigned lead form in front of me and laid the brass key on top. Council began with the visitor log. The 6 badges had admitted Daniel, Vanessa, Peter, 2 representatives from Crestline Development, and a commercial appraiser. They entered after midnight to avoid volunteers and left shortly before dawn. Peter said they were discussing future donations. Then council displayed the building appraisal. It valued Bellwether far higher as a private hotel than as a non-profit training center. Attached was a draft sale agreement. Crestline would buy the property after the board declared the program financially mismanaged. Daniel's hotel company would receive a development fee. Vanessa would receive a design contract large enough to appraise her debt. The room did not erupt. Papers turned. A chair creaked. The city officer removed his glasses and asked Daniel whether grant restrictions allowed a private sale. Daniel blamed Peter. Peter blamed a preliminary discussion. Vanessa whispered that she had never seen the sale agreement. Council touched the production console and played the saved microphone file. Daniel's voice filled the unfinished phone. Once Laura signs, she owns the bad expenses. If she refuses, the luncheon makes her look guilty anyway. Vanessa asked, what if she checks the invoices? She won't know where to look after we cut her access. Keep her busy at home. Make her look dependent and emotional. Then Peter asked about the grant. Daniel laughed softly on the report. By the time the city objects, the board will have voted. Laura's reputation will be gone. And Presley will already have its option. Vanessa pushed back from the table as the boyfriend touched her. You told me she was taking money. Daniel turned on her. I was securing your future. You used my debt to make me cruel to her. You did that part easily enough, Aaron said. Vanessa covered her face. I did not play a speech I had practiced in my head. I slid the unsigned lead form toward the audit chair. My answer is no. The board suspended Daniel and Vanessa from all foundation roles before anyone left the building. The sale option was voided. The city referred the grant records for formal review, and Crestline withdrew by the end of the day. Peter resigned. Donors received a factual notice from independent counsel, not a dramatic family version. By evening, the same relatives who had laughed at Daniel's group message were calling me. I did not answer. Public loyalty that changes only after proof is not comfort. It is weather. At home, Daniel found 2 suitcases beside the front door. His, not Vanessa's. You can't throw me out of my own house, he said. I didn't. I moved out this afternoon. The house belonged to his family trust. The furniture, staff contracts, and peace I had brought into it did not. My lawyer had already delivered notice under our prenuptial agreement. I would take what was mine, keep my separate savings, and resign as his wife after the audit was complete. He stared at me as if he had never imagined I could leave without asking.
All right, that catches up on all that.
Ribbon with the brass key from the hall table. You gave me a story about who you were. I gave it 6 years, or even. Vanessa and Aaron moved into a rented apartment the next week. Aaron refused Daniel's money and returned every binder from the suitcase. Vanessa lost the design contract, the foundation title, and several friends disputed her accusations. She sent written corrections to every donor she had contacted. The board
Pathfinder, I have enough sensory data to reconstruct an image of the policy.
apology to me came later. In the empty teaching kitchen at
Maybe we should push the cat back.
With what army? Can you even find the safety on your pistol?
I'm just going through the options.
Evacuate or die. Those are the options.
Initiative's not military. They weren't prepared.
Forgiveness is not a key, Vanessa. It doesn't give you a
Maybe.
She nodded, crying quietly.
What army? Can you even find the safety on your pistol?
I'm just going through the options.
Through the service door, and Aaron waited for her outside.
Initiative's not military. They weren't prepared.
Women filled the teaching kitchen with nervous laughter, notebooks, and the sound of cabinet doors opening and closing. I kept my school list in the bottom drawer of my new office, not as a trophy, not as proof. The lawyers had better proof than that. I kept it because on the back, during the first week of my marriage, I had written the first schedule for Belvedere classes.
Override works, but... Sam, the door was sealed from the outside?
Yes, Pathfinder. It appears locked down as manual before the power restrictions.
Why do that? It wouldn't keep anything out.
It would keep something in.
The hallway was quiet. The key rested against the wall, and for the first time, it opened exactly the life it was meant to.
Way too quiet.
Somebody asked me about it.
Want to know how the other day he got arrested for supposedly wanting that stop sign that didn't exist? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Residence is the same thing in the bathroom. It is the same thing.
Pathfinder, a maintenance bulletin was issued at the time of shutdown.
What does it say?
Wrong.
Override! Close it! Tempest, we have an unknown enemy. Evac the Pathfinder.
Whoa, hold on.
No go, we have to let go. Get our inbound to location.
Can that thing? Son of
Secondary terminals, no access.
If deployment is standard, main access will begin.
Looks like they left it open.
Reports said the evac was cut off by kids.
Another dropship with reinforcements. Watch out! Look sharp. That thing's out there.
And the Kett? Everything's ground until they're gone.
Stand up, you son of a bitch. Come on.
Brazilian or not.
Pokeball's out.
Mama, get back to school. The sister who stole my husband 3 years ago finally came back for a family visit. She smiled and asked, single LOL.
You'd think there'd be more bodies. Not that I'm complaining.
Not a lot to hide from us.
What is it? They were removed.
We know that evidence didn't bother clearing up the bodies.
You don't think he could have catch it?
So you trying to give me nightmares? This is like slow, I promise.
Happy thoughts. Schematics for special projects, Sigma. They were building something, but there are parts missing. This must be the project they were salvaging on Site 1. A way to fight the cat.
We could finish it.
All components of Site 2 had security tags compiling possible evidence.
Got a component for Site 2's project.
Please don't turn a family conversation into one of your episodes. Dad looked at the portfolio. The hearing is Monday. Until then, nobody enters the barn, brings a client here, or signs my name. Raymond's jaw tightened. Hunter's file returned. Of course, she said. We came to help. That lie lasted 11 minutes.
Surprised the Nexus still wants an outpost on Eos.
You know what they say. Third time's a charm. We'll make this right.
Hunter told us we could measure the aisle before Sunday's preview. Hunter appeared behind me and wrapped an arm around the woman like this. Leah, you're early. The family is still getting organized. Leah, she wants me the grounds manager. My sister is the director. I have proved those trees.
Detecting above normal radiation levels.
In their version of my life, I was the grounds manager. There is no preview, I said. This property is not approved as a wedding venue. Leah's face emptied. We paid a deposit. Raymond stepped into the hall. This isn't the time. How much? I asked. Hunter squeezed Leah's arm. A fully refundable reservation bonus. We'll call you tonight. She guided Leah outside, talking fast and pointing at me. Leah glanced back twice. Dad stood beside the coffee maker with both hands flat on the counter. You knew they were marketing the farm? I asked. Hunter showed me sketches at Christmas. I said we could discuss a few weddings after harvest. A few weddings is not 6 cottages. He looked older than he had it. I did not sign an application.
Look out for anything big and clunky.
Resilience is more than pain. It's our duty.
Lot of smart people here once. Where they possess.
Radiation levels within acceptable limits.
If your security beats the cure.
I know what I'm doing. This job didn't exist until I started doing it.
We screw up, none of our jobs will exist.
I'm aware, thanks.
There's an initiative shuttle ahead, looks bad.
Worth checking. If only to make sure the cat don't get the key.
The application had no hook. The contact email belonged to Northline Celebrations.
All Site 2 components are accounted for.
Let's head to Site 2's research station and see what good we could be.
Tuesday in March. That day, the barn had been locked while Raymond spoke at a conference in Denver. A cousin had sent me the photograph. I saved the county's certified receipt and marked the grass with the right places. Then I texted my mom. I called Hunter and said, Dad, my cousin is wondering what's happening. Could she make everyone look okay? Oysters, sweet potatoes, sweet anything. She truly is sentimental and even anxious. Rides used to running her. So many rides, why are you tearing me? Because they may arrive on land I operate. Speak in Spanish. Do you operate her? No. Don't confuse my friend. She never was. The film that she was agreeing to make that evening, Dad and I attended a store on Friday morning. Hunter had volunteered to give her clothing an exit. She told me we had told her neighbors that she and Raymond were coming home to save the paint. Behind her was 3 chainsaws all over the tallest tree. And she
What the hell is that?
when we couldn't do this without my mom's help too. She said it's her hero. Claire has graciously agreed to remain on the site and handle maintenance. She has lived a life. Claire has always preferred working alone, nobody checked.
Peeby's tech looks like.
Small and uncomfortable, but it existed. Raymond watched from the stage, smiling as if he were checking the message. There wasn't a microphone or anyone else to be following my phone. No one had permission to click on the effect portrait picture or take shots. I completely erased her reputation and
Detecting above normal radiation levels.
territory urged me to give the happy couple a chance and warned that bitterness was a cruel and lethal poison.
Life support is back online.
Before she took the microphone, he said, "Yes, he looked at me and went, go to your completion. Do that every year for the 2 million is underwhelming."
Or dead.
He was missing from the blue ribbon. I had emptied the bottle, paid for coffee, and left 10 minutes later. The ribbon remained, cut near the knot. I drove to the barn and found both doors open. Inside, a photographer posed a couple beneath mother's harvest. A caterer covered my sorting table. Raymond directed an electrician, and Hunter filmed a welcome video. Jerger House, she said to the camera, where every love story comes home. I stepped into the frame. Everyone needs to leave. The photographer lowered his camera. Hunter kept hers raised. We have permission, she said. From whom? Dad. Dad arrived before she finished. He saw the bar, the strangers, and the cut ribbon in my hand. Raymond approached him with a document. Ray, we need you to settle this. You approved a pre-order. Look at the first page. It says I am an alcohol service. Standard language. I approved coffee with one couple. Hunter moved close. Daddy, Claire is punishing the farm for what happened in our marriages. Our marriages. She made the affair sound exciting and damaged everybody out. The vendors sat embarrassed in silence. Hunter walked past with a new key in her palm. I held out my hand. She dropped it, but not before whispering, "You can keep the key. By Monday, I'll have the land." I picked it up.
Nice. Let's get to a research station, see what we got.
If you had been standing in that barn watching my sister turn my mother's sign into a sales backdrop and my old marriage into a reason nobody should trust me, would you have doubted yourself or even if you think protecting that place was not bitterness, leave a like or tell me what you would have done. Because shame can make a clean boundary feel cruel. After everyone left, the photographer came back alone. His name was Owen. His job had been to make the lie look expensive. He held out a memory card. My camera records a backup while I set lights. He said, "Your sister and that archetype were talking. You should hear it." We played the audio through the tiny speaker on his camera. Hunter's voice came first. "Once Dad finds the option, Northline gets the first development drop. We can refund the nervous rides from that." Raymond answered, "He only
Kroger.
Is that drag?
You could handle yourself, kid. And I hear you're the one to thank for clearing up the sky. Had your number all wrong.
You're not so bad yourself, old man. Maybe we should work together after all.
This fight was pretty good, but you're still Nexus and green as a drow. Still, something tells me you've got potential. You'd be ashamed to waste that. I mean, just point me to your ship and try to keep up.
This is gonna be great.
The first colonists sent audio logs about these regions back to the Nexus.
And?
Fair winds basin. Lowest radiation count in the area. Little.
All right, motherfuckers, we're establishing a colony. This is where everything comes from. So, we now need to make a choice, and you will see what that choice is momentarily.
Resources are at a crisis point. Protocol states this judgment call falls to the Pathfinder. With current supplies, you could build a military outpost focusing on defense and militia training. Alternatively, a scientific outpost could advance the initiative's research and discoveries.
What do you think? Military outpost or scientific?
Pathfinder's call, but research is no good if we're dead. Military.
It's got to be science. Our colonists need to understand their home.
Be advised that the first outpost placed by a Pathfinder will be a statement in itself. Fair or not, your choice will represent the initiative and its intentions in Andromeda. Consider carefully.
So, do I make my outpost scientific or military? All right, chat. Yo, Beast! I was in your stream the other day. How you doing, bud? So, I'm gonna give chat, we'll say 3 minutes. Make a choice. If you want me to make this a scientific outpost, hit 1 in chat. If you want me to make this a military outpost, type 2 into the chat. It's on you, chat. Let's do it.
Leaning on a shovel, me laughing outside the frame. I stored Mother's receipt book in a clear archive box. cut blue ribbon. The new brass key stayed on my own ring. On the first cold morning after harvest, Dad and I locked the barn together. The south orchard stood untouched beyond it, rose dark against the pale sky. He checked the door once. I checked it once more out of habit. Then I slid the key into my coat pocket, and we walked home without looking back.
Now, I have beaten this game a couple times through. I've gone, I believe, both ways on that first outpost. I cannot honestly tell you whether or not the outpost type makes any overall difference. I simply don't know, and I don't give a shit. Again, chat, this decision is on you, so make your choice. Welcome all out.
That was personal.
The ocean is a soup.
Elaborate.
Well, what do you normally need to make a soup?
Well, water, salt, some kind of vegetable, and I personally like some Eton lime. The ocean is a soup.
The ocean is a soup. The ocean is a soup.
Few people know this, but one man led a group of Mexicans to help win. Last week I got a little too...
Oh, well, this is your friendly neighborhood sex master, and I'm looking for a...
Alright, nobody made a choice, so I'm going to choose scientific.
That's our foundation and our future.
Orders prepped. Ready on your signal.
Well, all right. My name is Death, but you can call me back if it's easier.
Andromada Initiative, this is Ryder. Pathfinder. EOC ready for deployment.
Outpost blocked inbound. And ready as ever. August breath. Operational head for this block. May or not, I suppose. We're ready to make the most of what you delivered.
It took a lot of people to get us this far. That's the work you'll continue.
I hear that. Protromos. That's what we're calling them.
They're eager. I haven't seen eager for months. EOS is far from golden. But now it's a producer. A real and reasonable first step. They think you did the impossible. The next mission, I warned them, hoping was irresponsible. You proved me wrong, partner.
I appreciate your candor. We're all on the same side.
I wouldn't go that far. The reality rider, you bought us time, but one outpost on a long-shot planet won't stop us from starving. You already have a lead on something else?
The nav point from the vault.
Now it gets complicated. The others are ready to officially sanction your efforts, to be a part of your success. We all want the initiative to succeed, but after failing for so long, no one agrees on how to do it. Be aware, that's all.
We didn't come to a new galaxy to argue about who's right.
It got us this far. Talk to Bradley. Later, we'll go over the extended job of Pathfinder. Until then, Tan's waiting on the Nexus.
Detecting above normal radiation levels. Radiation within safe levels.
Someone left a warning. Looks like a work crew thinks they can take control of the remnant.
That's a recipe for trouble.
Work crew rosters are posted publicly.
The datapad mentioned med bay. A little work, we could find a way to catch up with them.
Really hope all those scientists will be safe out here.
We came to explore and learn. That's who we are.
I keep wondering what our scientists will cook up to eat us.
One of your father's memories is now accessible. Return to Sandland on the Hyperloop to investigate further.
Mayor Bradford.
Pathfinder, good to see you. We're busy as anything, thanks to you. Bit dusty, but we can adapt. It's worth it when it's your own.
Let's not drive people too hard. Rough and rough getting this far.
Nothing you see here can crack a whip. Everyone is just ready. You go do what you need to on the Nexus. Follow that dot. There will be more to do on Eos later. Some key positions: Connor Supply, Ramirez Medical, Abrams Science, Falks Engineering. With them and my major domo, we won't end up like Site 1 and 2.
I called the first two outpost attempts. Those people died trying.
And they deserve better from the Nexus. That's where I brought the faint. We'll remember. You changed this planet, but that doesn't make it easy. We'll use the efforts of those who went before. Good people, every last one. I'd have been honored to fail with any of them.
I haven't reached the end of the trail, but not everyone died outright.
Right. They tell me there were staggered evacs. If anyone can try again, they're welcome. Oh, Pathfinder. This is for you. It's our flag. Hang it where the Nexus can see. It's touched the soil of our first outpost in Andromeda. Make it real.
Technically the third at a minimum.
I hear you're to thank for our physics-defying atmospheric processing.
That's me. I'm Ryan.
Haley Abrams, Director of Scientific Research at EOS.
Look both out.
What the hell, Heather? But new galaxy, new world, and a really new start. Gotta keep up. How can I help?
What kind of research are you working on?
Your basic first in scientific work, soil, water, atmospherics, plus studying remnant tech, because now I need to understand them to survive here.
Activating that vault changed the planet. Anything to worry about?
Considering it's world-altering technology we've never encountered before, I hope not. But the storms show no signs of returning, and I know who to contact for remnant tech support. I'll take it.
What do you make of Lieutenant Bradford?
Determined as hell, and he has incredible faith in us to get this done. Bradley will carry this outpost on his back if he had to, and we'll make sure he never has to.
I've got to go.
Keep up the good work.
Pathfinder? Mind giving me your opinion on this? I'm planning classes for our first school, when we have one. Some say we shouldn't teach Milky Way history. All relevant now, apparently.
We were all shaped by that history. Our children deserve to know how and why.
Agreed. Maybe you'll change a few minds. Thanks for stopping.
I want to say that's George Takei, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
August said you might speak. Right, yes. Dr. Ramirez, from the clinic here on Eos. Much better than Lion's medic.
Good to meet you.
I'll guess you're not here for a checkup. How can I help?
What's it like living in our first successful outpost?
It's early days. Promise. Everyone reaches anything, everyone matters. We know it will this work.
Tires rolled into the driveway. Belle walked to the front window, still irritated. Then she stopped. My father came from the kitchen. Who is it? Belle said, "Why is your mom?"
Why did you join the Andromada Division?
I served in the night as a medic, but say I saw one voluntary slavery too many. I knew August, Brad, when he signed on to the initiative, suggested I consider it. This seemed like a better frontier.
What's the latest for your clinic?
Usual checkups for first-thing callers. Plus a few cases of dehydration, some blindness. Nothing serious.
Damon, I am here as counsel for the property guardian and the minor beneficiary of the Elise Harlow Residence Trust.
What do you think of Brad?
I've known him for years. He was the squad medic when he was injured, and we kept in touch after his discharge. He's a smart fellow, a good lieutenant, and a better mayor. And it bugs me when I call him August. So I restrict myself to 2 or 3 times a day.
I placed the key in it. He held up both keys on their red ribbons. One was left with Marin, he said. One stayed with my office. Both opened the same box. Both were described in your wife's trust memorandum, which you signed. Belle's face changed at the word wife, not ex-wife, not late wife, wife. My father rubbed both hands over his mouth. This is a family issue. No, Grandma said. It stopped being one when you moved a child into a furnace room and sent a video for applause. Nora walked past them. Belle moved to block her. Nora lifted her badge. I am here as a licensed inspector documenting a reported unsafe sleeping
I'll leave you to it.
Come back anytime. Preferably unarmed.
Photos and notes on a tablet. No window. Furnace clearance issue. Chemical storage overhead. Exterior lock. No dedicated detector. Not a legal bedroom. My father said it was temporary. Nora looked at the cot, then at the trash bag. Temporary still has to be safe. Mr. Vale set a paper on the entry table. Damon, The trust also covers the mural wall. Your wife identified it as a protected fixture connected to the minor's emotional residence rights. Belle laughed too loudly. A wall? We are doing legal drama over a wall? Grandma turned her head slowly. That wall is the only reason my granddaughter slept in this house after her mother died. Belle looked at my father like she expected him to defend her. He did not. He was staring at the paper Mr. Vale had placed down, because on that paper was his own signature. The real reveal happened 2 days later at Belle's baby blessing brunch. Belle saw us and smiled like a camera had turned on inside her face. Marin, she said loudly, I am so glad you decided to come with a better spirit. Several women turned. Aunt Carla looked at the floor. At the gift table, I saw my mother's cedar chest. Not the whole chest. A small inner drawer from it, polished and lined with white paper. Belle had turned it into a tray for baby cards. My breath caught before I could stop it. Belle followed my eyes and smiled. Isn't it beautiful repurposed? I told Damon old things can still serve the new family. Mr. Vale stood and walked to the microphone. Before the blessing continues, the property guardian has asked me to correct a misunderstanding concerning several items displayed here today. Belle's face hardened. This is not appropriate. Grandma said neither was filming my granddaughter beside a furnace. Whispers moved through the room. Mr. Vale explained that certain parts of the house and certain belongings were protected until I became an adult. The mural, the cedar chest, the back garden, my bedroom. He did not mention every ugly thing, just enough for people to understand the shape of it. No, Mr. Vale said, this is about a pattern. He lifted the first exhibit, a photo of my bedroom wall before Belle's blue tape, a second photo of the storage room cot, a third photo of the cedar drawer on the gift table, a fourth photo from Belle's own social media, her wearing my mother's pearl earrings at church.
This definitely treated wounds caused by a remnant. That data pad said the work crew tried to control them.
Science particles were removed from the wound. Analyzing. The science came from several locations. I need more data to form a conclusion.
Right. Photos of her pregnancy, the nursery, the rocking chair, the painted crib, and the quote wall where my mother's mural was supposed to be covered by pale gray clouds. The projector screen lowered behind Belle. Mr. Vale did not play video. He showed one even, from Belle to the decorator. Subject, nursery. That's fine. Credits. Once Marin is out, paint over the birds first. Damon is sentimental and may backslide if he sees the key. Use the trust word carefully. He gets nervous when legal things are mentioned, but he already signed whatever Elise made him sign. I want the room fully erased before the baby comes home. Belle's hand went to her stomach. My father whispered, Belle. She whispered back. You said it did not matter. Mr. Vale clicked once. A second email appeared. This one was from my father to Belle. Do it fast. If Marin cries, film it. Carla and the others will help make her look dramatic. Once Mom sees everyone agreeing, she will back off. The trust is old paper. We need the house to feel like ours. Grandma made a sound beside me, more like breath leaving a place that had been trapped for years. Belle stepped toward the microphone. This is private. A woman from church said, you put the child on a group chat. The pastor's wife lifted my mother's cedar drawer from the gift table and carried it to Grandma. I am sorry, she said to me, but she could not look at me long. Mr. Vale closed the folder. Effective immediately, Damon's occupancy rights are under review. Lily and Harlow will take temporary guardianship of Marin's protected property. Belle, any trust property in your possession needs to be returned by tomorrow afternoon. Belle laughed again, but it broke halfway through. You cannot throw a pregnant woman out of her own home. Grandma said, it was never your home. The fallout came like lights switching off in rooms. The group chat died first. People who had laughed started sending private apologies to Grandma, not to me. Grandma answered each one with the same sentence. Send your screenshot to Mr. Vale. Aunt Carla came to Grandma's apartment with a grocery bag of things she had taken from her house because Belle called them duplicates. My mother's cookbook, a blue mug, 2 framed photos. She cried in the parking lot and said she had wanted to believe Damon because believing him meant she had not failed me. I watched from the window and did not go down. Belle's mother arrived the next morning with the pearl earrings, the recipe notebook, and my mother's missing photo wrapped in a towel. She looked furious, but not at me. My daughter will not be questioned without counsel, she told Mr. Vale. Mr. Vale said, why? Belle moved into her mother's guest room 2 days later. Her lawyer told her to leave before she made herself look worse. My father stayed in the house for 11 more days. He slept in the living room because he said my mother's bedroom felt haunted after everyone turned on him. He sent Grandma 5 emails
Work
and
orders.
1 letter.
That data pad mentioned the name Jennings. Here, Axel Jennings. Assigned to set up weather monitoring devices all over the desert.
Only one location matches the science and the medical equipment. Immortal.
Let's go.
You haven't got a fuel cell, have you? The quartermaster says there's plenty, but she would. Wait. Shit, you're the Pathfinder. Sorry, no one said VIPs were coming by.
Just right. Nice to meet you.
Likewise. I'm Fox, chief engineer for Prodromos. Anything you need, ask away.
What are the other outpost staff like?
Like Connor, you mean? She's pretty fun when you get to know her. Just don't get to know her over a poker game. Trust me.
anybody to go home.
First impressions? We've got water, clear skies for solar power, plants to farm. The remnants are a wild card, but Bradley says you have them covered. It'll take work, no question, but I think EOS is really going to be something.
What do you do here?
My team gets things going. Water, power, communications, everything a civilization needs. Well, not laws or a constitution, but it's easier to concentrate on those when you got a flushing toilet.
What brought you all the way to Andromeda?
There's a colony back home you've never heard of. Viridius. It failed, hard. I grew up there watching things fall apart. When I left, I got into infrastructure, civil engineering, boring stuff unless you've ever lived without it. I wanted to do Viridis right, I guess. And the initiative was my best chance.
Bye, Fox.
Have a good one.
The brass key caught a thin line of moonlight, like it had been waiting all along.
Happy Halloween, but most of all, Merry Christmas to all who celebrate.
Tonight I turned down a power bill. Bet you never saw this day coming, did you? Bet a bunch you never expected to see my face. With this, Dean Withers behind me. If you're here, it's finally time to see Dean Withers get called out. No, I have Dean behind me because the video I'm about to show you was recorded by Dean and what happened. To Dean, Grand Junction, Colorado. He flew into the airport there. His mom came to pick him up. He comes out in the car. He's putting his luggage into the car. And then a man he'd never seen before walks up and spits in his face. He pulled out his phone and started recording. It's a smart thing to do. If you pay attention, right in the very beginning, you're going to hear this guy admit that he spit in his face.
You just spit on me, sir? You just spit on me. What's your name? What's your name? Don't touch me. What's your name? Your husband just spit on me. Wait, he just admitted to it on camera. What was your name?
First things first, she says, I don't think spitting is spoiler alert. Serious criminal charges, like assault and arrest. Also not for nothing, when you put your hands on Dean,
Day-to-day, specialist engineer Amon Kafari.
Chased down by what he was studying. The death toll between the two outposts must have weighed on everyone.
I don't think we just came up and randomly spit his face with a fraction. They did. They had no interaction with the Mom told them they were
Hello, Leon.
Pathfinder, this area can be mined for resources. You can extract minerals via your mining interface.
Certainly not a person with the person who called you that. So, Grand Junction, Colorado. Take a good look at this. Here's Chuckles here. Here's presumably Mrs. Chuckles, who she doesn't have there. Someone in Grand Junction, Colorado, do me a favor. Tell me who they are.
I am not seeing anything on the mining bit there. Interesting. Probably have to go the other way for that.
You have 24
I've been more or less alright.
No sign of that work crew, but someone left their gear behind. Wait, I've got an open comm channel.
Easy money. Once the electrical charge builds up, we'll have ourselves a nice medium remnant.
You better be sure this time, Jennings.
If you're that good, go hide behind the four giants. I'm busy.
Hey, we've got to find them before they get together. Lexi, found another colonist.
So many. All right, send me their information.
We're so close.
I just know it. Once we get that linguist, we'll crack it. There's so much tech here. It has to help. Then I can see Jerry in it. It's been a slow start, but we got this. We... Oh no.
Damn it.
The remnants aren't all bots and maybe blue skies. Stay careful.
They were saving the data they could, in case it helped the next try.
That's us. The next try is us.
You said there was another dead colonist here, but the only two I saw are over there, and I scanned them earlier.
Detecting above normal radiation levels.
Hostiles ahead! Still weird to be out here on a scourge like that. Should we check it out? She was part of the colony, wasn't she?
The probability is high. This researcher may have left ATATs at other remnant sites as well.
Motherfucker! Well, that's interesting enough. about mining later.
This end to come in mining for resources. You can extract minerals via your mining interface.
Who do? Who don't?
Let's get my happy ass where I need to go.
Help us! Please!
There we go.
Thanks for the assist.
Your experiment with the remnant didn't work out.
Okay, squeal. Gas brick? Yeah, best. These remnants that plow our fields protect us from the cat. You control them, why shouldn't we?
How many people need to get hurt before you stop this?
Pathfinder's got a gun.
Fine. You can't protect us all the time, Pathfinder. Out here, you need every inch.
Mom in her chair by the window under a green blanket. Dad stood near the fireplace and said we had to discuss practical matters. Mom declined. Then he looked right at me and said, Noelle has done a lot of caregiving without judgment. Arden added, sweet as poison. Nobody is attacking you. We just do not want you making permanent claims because you got attached to the house while staying here. Got attached. Like I was a temporary guest, but confused herself. Mom lifted one finger, tiny movement, and nothing. Claire set down her coffee cup. What exactly are you warning against? She asked. His family business, Claire said. Stop discussing Patricia like she is already furniture. Arden tried to smile it away, but Claire had brought a folder. She did not wave it. She simply stated, in front of everybody, that Patricia Mercer had already executed recorded property instructions through an occupancy trust, and that any effort to market or transfer the home around those instructions would fail. That Noelle's right to remain in the home could not be overridden by family opinion. That discussing the deal before Patricia's death. Dad said, Patricia would never. Mom's voice, weak and rough, cut across him. I did, that was all. Cousin Marla stared at Dad like she had never met him before. One uncle looked embarrassed to be breathing their air. Arden went still in that polished, dangerous way she gets when her script burns in her hands. She left claiming it. Her plane peeled out down the street 10 minutes later. After that, Arden isolated Mom. That Claire had confused her. That I was emotionally involved. I found out because Marla came by with groceries and an awkward face and finally admitted what she had heard. I asked her one question. Have you been here even once at 3 in the morning? She looked down. No, then do not repeat stories from people who visited Lipstick, Marla cried. She brought more groceries the next week. Mom declined hard in late summer. Less speech, more sleep. Her breathing turned shallow and careful. During those weeks, she asked for two things over and over. The blue recipe binder and the porch light at dusk. Leave it on, she would whisper. I left it on. The night before she died, Arden came alone. No husband, no flowers, no performance. For half a second, I thought maybe grief had finally made her honest. Then she stood at the foot of Mom's bed and said, I think Claire manipulated you. Mom could barely form words. She looked at Arden and managed, you always arrive late to the truth. Arden's face hardened instantly. Mom died the next afternoon, the rain tapping the gutters, and the porch light came before sunset. I was holding her hand. Dad was downstairs on a call. Arden was not there. Well, Dad let Arden give the main eulogy. Of course he did. She spoke about devotion, elegance, family, sacrifice. People cried. Women from church raised their hands and said she was carrying things so bravely. One woman hugged me and said, your sister is holding up beautifully. I smiled because that was safer than seeing. Back at the house, after the food and the paper plates and the soft pity faces, most people finally drifted out. Dusk settled. The living room smelled like ham glaze.
See, what is that?
Asked me to stay. Dad stood behind her. She held a single paper, one of the old estate summary pages, not the trust,
That's a level 3 hazard. Not willing to fuck with that at the moment.
Waving around was legally useless by itself. The house was already bound to the trust. Dad had no control. Arden had no immediate ownership. I had the right to stay, manage, and breathe. When I answered, she did not say hello. You knew. You were told there was more. You let me humiliate myself. I looked out the window at rain moving down the glass. You did not need my help for that. She started crying, angry crying. She said Blaine had already talked to a lender. Dad had counted on the sale. They needed the equity. Then she called me what she had called me all year. Martyr? I held the phone away for a second and stared at it. Then I put it back to my ear and said, you need what I did to be vanity. If it was love, then what were you? She made it sound like she might answer. She did not. By dinner, the family group chat was on fire. Arden wrote that there had been a misunderstanding. Dad wrote that all parties should respect privacy. Then Blaine, apparently after a drink and a bad idea, wrote that I had always wanted the house. Aunt Claire answered before I could. No, Noelle wanted Patricia alive. Some of you confuse that with access. That line split the whole thing open. Cousins started asking questions. When had Dad refinanced? Why had a broker been in the kitchen? Why was Blaine discussing garage plans in spring? Public shame works fast when people can smell real greed under fake greed. Dad called me that night sounding smaller than I had ever heard him. I did not know Arden and Blaine had gone that far. He was just dead silent. He had taken a second line of credit after a failed investment with a golf crowd. He thought a fast sale after Mom's death would clean it up before anyone knew. Arden knew because he told her.
Believe for now.
Leaving at will. All clear.
Though I'll return to EOS later.
24 hours. He said my name like that could still do something. It could not. A week later, Arden came to the porch without texting. No makeup, hair tied back badly. She looked tired in a real way. I did not invite her in. She held out an envelope from her lawyer, confirming she would not challenge the trust and advising her to comply with the occupancy terms. There was a handwritten note, too. She and Blaine were in financial trouble. Dad had made promises. She had believed him because she wanted to. I stopped reading halfway through. Would you have given me 48 hours instead? I asked, her mouth twitched.
Before the meeting gets started, I have bunk assignments for PB and Draft.
Already put my rucksack in the kitchen. I'll hang out there if that's okay.
And I'm in one of the escape pods. More my speed. That's fantastic. Welcome aboard. Any thoughts, Ryder?
We're adventurers. Whatever makes the squad comfortable is okay with me. Let's talk about our success on EOS. Besides establishing our first viable outpost, we did some amazing things. We discovered the Remnant and breached their vault.
And didn't get killed.
Overcame radiation poisoning a number of times.
Pokeballs out.
Confronted by Cat at every turn.
Once again, don't get killed.
You guys really need to raise the bar on what you call success.
Should we use the Krogan definition of success that got your homeworld nuked by your own people?
Fair enough.
Let's focus. Back to the task at hand. Looking forward.
Exactly. Here's my only question. When do we hit that next vault? It looked active. We have to get on that.
Hang on. We need to not go off the top.
There are initiative priorities. The team calls the shots.
Actually, the Pathfinder calls the shots, just to be clear.
So what do you need from us, Ryder?
Let's be kind and give each other the benefit of the doubt. Finding a home for tens of thousands in this hellscape is stressful enough without adding dysfunction.
You got it, boys.
If Krogan are known for one thing, it's getting along.
But not humility or self-awareness.
Okay, let's head back to the next. PB, Drac, see Lexi for a physical. Good meeting.
Researchers at Saarland University and Phillips University in Germany launched a study in 1987. They identified over 7,000 gifted third-grade students and followed them into adulthood for 35 years. They measured their intelligence and tracked their political views. And what they found is crazy. Men with high IQ consistently reject conservative politics. Men with average to low IQ embrace conservative.
Can you drop by the biolab?
The cognitive complexity openness hypothesis. Here's how it works. Smarter people are more open to new experiences. They're better equipped to handle complex and new ideas. They can handle two contradictory thoughts at the same time and evaluate them separately. Conservative ideology demands they listen. They need someone to tell them what to think because thinking is hard for them. Complex ideas men, but that kind of rigid thinking feels intellectually suffocating, so they reject it. Research published in 2019 found that men with low emotional intelligence are significantly more likely to hold authoritarian political views. This pattern is consistent across decades of research. The smarter a man is, the less likely he needs rigid rules to make sense of the world. This is why Trump's base is overwhelmingly men without college degrees. This is why MAGA rejects science, experts, and complexity. This is why facts don't work on them. You aren't debating someone who sees the world differently. You're debating someone whose brain cannot handle the complexity required to see the world clearly. Conservative political ideology for these men is not about values. It's about comfort. It is the ceiling of their ability to think cognitively. The data is clear. Smarter men reject everything the Republican Party stands for. That's why the right loves the poorly educated. If it weren't for them, they wouldn't have a party.
Nice place you found.
Clean air, plants, helps me think.
Something on your mind?
Maybe.
Your biotics always do that when you're maybe stressed?
I got it. I'm good. I don't normally lose it like that. A huntress should have better control.
Huntress?
Another term for an Asari commando. I was one before the initiative. Some things stick though, like losing the old man.
How does a human soldier get served with Asari?
Prove your biotics can rip an APC apart, and people get nervous. Funny that. The Alliance found a cross-species military initiative in a hurry. Sent me to Thessia to serve with a Huntress unit. One of the few places where my powers were welcomed. Your father made another one.
You were his second in command. Were you friends, too?
He was more a mentor than a friend. Prickly old bastard. But I respected that. People treat geniuses like they're made of cut glass. I didn't care how smart he was. I think he liked someone not caring.
I know it's not the same, but I'm a good listener.
I hope you're as good at being Pathfinder. I said I wouldn't get in the way, and I meant it. But I prepped for years as your father's second. Then he chooses you? An untrained Pathfinder and all this mess to fix? What the hell was he thinking?
Is this going to be a problem, Court?
I don't want a rival. Just answers. It's done. Best I can do now is be your second. Keep your father's mission alive. Then maybe we'll all get what we came out here for.
So what brought you out to Andromeda?
Biotics like this. Thinking like an Asari huntress. I never had a place. Best I could be was a useful freak. The initiative was meant to be different. Will be different if this mission succeeds. So I'm seeing it through. It's quiet in here. I can keep the plants watered while I work. First job, see if there's any news on the Asari Army. If they made it, we could use some Asari expertise. If you want to talk, I'll be here. Ryder?
How's the search for the Asari Army going?
The Lucinia? Checking every comm that's coming in. Nothing concrete yet.
What did you do while you were part of the Asari military?
4 years in a commando unit called Lane's Daughters. Part of the Council's cross-species military integration initiative. You probably had a more exciting time defending that Arcturus relay. But we did good work. Peacekeeping is a full-time job, even in Asari space.
What was your commando unit like?
Janae and I were the youngsters. Tethys was our old lady sniper. Talia patched us up, and Valenza prayed between firefights. Our CO, Nasira, led us all over the Athena Nebula and beyond. A huntress's work is never done.
Who'd pick a fight with the most powerful species in the galaxy?
Themselves, usually. Terrorists, cults, rogue Ardot Yakshi, people demanding a withdrawal from the Citadel. The Asari were spacefaring when our Roman Empire was new. Didn't fix all their problems. Sometimes you need commandos for that.
You were in the Alliance before you became a Huntress, right? What made you join up?
My biotics. I was still living on my parents' cargo freighter when they manifested. Untrained biotic power on a starship means accidents, but we couldn't afford a tutor. The Alliance had implants, the training, everything. Old history now. Your turn. Remind me why you came to Andromeda.
I spent years watching pioneers go through the Arcturus mass release, off to glory while I stayed behind. Then Dad's career collapsed. His AI research made him too toxic.
I heard. Must have changed everything for your family.
We needed to start over somewhere new together, or as together as we could. So, Andromeda?
None of you writers ever think small, do you?
Did you come out here with anyone? Maybe someone you surfed with?
I had my fun on shore leave. Nothing serious, though. Asari huntresses figure things out, but I was there for soldiering, not romance.
You're not technically military.
Can't get anything past you, can I?
How's the search for the Asari Ark going?
Nothing new. Let's stay optimistic.
How's the search for the...
Nothing new. Let's stay optimistic.
After 4 years with Asari commandos, you must have some great war stories.
Nasira assassinated a Krogan warlord with a pack of playing cards once.
A pack of cards?
Choking hazard, apparently.
Any more commando war stories?
Always liked Janae. She was only 200, and to me around, she wasn't a kid anymore. She was a biotic prodigy. I once saw her yank an AA gun right off its housing, crushed a gang of slavers with it.
Ouch.
I didn't feel it for long. Janae was a good friend. Maybe she still is back there. Won't be a kid now, though.
Any more commando war stories?
Not just now. I'll try to remember a good one.
How's the search for the Asari Ark going?
Nothing new. Let's stay optimistic.
See you later.
I'll be here.
You should leave my piano and my daughter alone. Residents who had been looking at me with pity began looking at Zoe with question, but she doubled down the next room. Rosebridge received an emergency county notice alleging missing resident trust funds, unsafe staffing ratios, and falsified overnight inspections. Until a hearing, new admissions were suspended. The complaint named me personally.
If you're looking for me, I'm in the escape pod now.
And had entered the records room after midnight using the
All right. I gotta run to the restroom, grab some coffee. I'll be right back. Hang tight. Oh.
It did not come. He wrapped his fingers around mine instead. The court denied William unsupervised contact. When his lawyer asked to preserve his parental rules, Helen answered with records and
Pathfinder, making the rounds. Slumming it, huh? Want to see how the riffraff are making out? Hey, it's a dirty job. Are you the riffraff spokesman? King, actually. You might want to bow. Otherwise, no telling what might fall off the nomad when you're out there. I'll take it easy. Just want to see how things are going with the ship. I can coax more out of this baby than some might think, but we shouldn't go too far or push too hard between Nexus stops. For now. It just feels good to be stretching our wings, you know? Locked in idle too long, you start to drift. People, same as ships. Stuck on the Nexus, gotta say, I was regretting joining the Initiative. I doubt you were the only one. Yes, but it's a new thing for me, regret. I tend to live the way I work. Kind of feel it, do it. Not a lot of close ties. No real sense of purpose. Figured maybe I'd find my true calling in Andromeda. Then I got here and oops, I just made a decision there's no turning back from. I was going nuts on that station. You can't know how jazzed I was when you showed up.
Donald Trump has been in.
So everyone, did you know why women?
Who ate my snack? Look at me! I'm an innocent.
We're exploring this cluster. Eventually the galaxy. If your purpose is here, we'll find it.
Then the question will be, what will I do with it?
In the meantime, you just keep pointing the ship wherever you want it to go. I'll make sure she can get there. Deal? Deal.
It's not only unconstitutional, it's not only un-American. I think it is also deeply...
Long time no chat. What's up? Seems like we have a good group here.
Well, veteran Suvia might go. Get along well. Lots of mutual respect.
PB's a real spark plug. I like her, but she's exhausting. And Drag's my kind of guy. Brass, takes no shit. As far as your appearance go, Doc's kind of nosy. Liam's good for a laugh or two. Cora, she's a bit by the book for me. Need somebody to keep the zoo in check.
Zoo? You calling me an animal?
Can I be a mongoose? They're like cool cobra killers. No, wait. How about a crow? Smart, irreverent, obnoxious. That's it. I'll take it.
I like him.
What about Cal?
He's a pilot.
Which means
he flies the ship.
We're leaving it at that then?
Does a Pathfinder know what to do with a dead end?
I hear we have you to thank for getting the Tempest space ready so quickly.
Vetra brings her impossible feats to me. I was itching to get this particular call. Capital R ready.
Don't tell her, but the truth is, I fudge reports to come in early, then we bust ass a secret to make up for it. Expands the guild legend. Plus, I convey calm and assurance, and the whole team relaxes, which helps them do their jobs better. What's your social circle like? I'm good for a laugh, so I know lots of people, but I don't let too many in. My one true friend is stationed on the Nexus. She's the only piece of the Milky Way I brought with me. The more you and I get to know each other, the more you'll probably hear about her. How tough was it on the Nexus all these months? Have you ever eaten overcooked space cow tongue? Can't say I have.
Well, let me tell you, it's tough. Wondering if you're gonna die from a critical malfunction, or maybe starvation. Imagining which would be worse. But hey, you could always take a break from the fear and boredom to dwell on being a part of the biggest failure in galactic history. Maybe participate in a revolt.
What was your take on that?
And in placing bets, if that's what you're asking. Truth is, I don't think anyone made out particularly well. Whatever side you're on, you die when your brother, your teammate, becomes an enemy. We travel all this way, all hope and wonder, and we end up fighting with each other over scraps. Sad.
Good talking to you.
Anytime.
My husband hid a camera in our bedroom, faked a birth plan to deny me pain relief, and did the unspeakable to me while I was in labor. When I begged him to stop, he smiled and said, "This is what real wives do." I did not make a sound. That was 19 months ago. Today, his parents act like he does not exist. The first lie was not the camera. The first lie was the folder. Theo handed it to the admitting nurse before I could even sit down in the wheelchair. My contractions were so close together, I had to bite my sleeve to keep from crying out. The nurse asked if I wanted medication, and I nodded before she finished the sentence. Theo smiled.
Oh, hey, Pathfinder.
The Pathfinder's there? Let me say hi.
Fine, don't embarrass me. Ryder, this is Sid, my sister. Sid, Ryder.
Let me guess. Little sister?
Who are you calling little?
Look, gotta go.
Wait, Ryder, I just wanted to know.
So I know it feels like I just jumped aboard your ship without explanation.
I would have done the same just to get off the Nexus.
That's not why I came. Sure, I want to explore the galaxy, but I'm really here to work. I know everyone on the crew, even the actuators killed before for the ship. Better, I know how to get my hands on them. With me around, your crew's going to be at their best.
We've been failing for months, Ryder. Now that we have you, we have a chance out here.
Wow, that's some laser focus.
Yeah? Is it too much? Some people get intimidated.
We need that sort of drive. I just hope I can keep up.
You'll keep up. And I promise I won't tell if you don't. I should track down anything for kills actuators, back channels, you know. We'll chat later?
I reached for my phone to call my sister Gabby, but Theo took it from the counter. No audience, he said. I want my sister. You want attention? There is a difference. He sent one message from my phone while I leaned against the sink, trying to breathe. Do not come. We are focusing on our little family.
Terraforming, Atmo processors, gravity wells, life-destroying murder bubbles. We really had no idea what Helios was about, did we?
If we knew what it was all about, it wouldn't be an adventure. It would just be moving. And everyone hates moving. Just the packing alone. Ugh.
Point taken.
I agree.
I'm just saying. I really hope you have a plan, Ryder.
The plan's the same. We find a home. Whatever that takes.
Keep that drive. Makes me believe we can make it. I mean, we have to make it. The alternative is not even worth thinking about.
You were on the Nexus when the revolt happened?
When you promise people golden worlds and all they get are wastelands and a death cloud, they riot. Some wanted to go home, some demanded answers, and a couple just wanted to stir shit up.
And you?
Some days I wondered if the exiles had a point. Maybe we were conned into coming here. But why would the initiative go to all this trouble just to screw us over? The thing about conning people, you always know something they don't, and that's why the conning works. If I'm going to pick a side, I'm picking the liars.
You talked about your back channels. What did you mean?
We brought a lot from home. Some of it marked initiative, some of it personal cash. Most things you want, someone's got. You just have to figure out who, and what they're willing to take in exchange.
It can't be that simple.
Oh, but it is. Most things are simple once you know the trick to them.
How did you hear of the Andromada initiative?
Short answer, cash. She was looking for some experimental ship runs. I knew how to track them down. I thought it was a one-time deal, but she came back. Once, twice. Eventually I figured out something was going on. Something big with creds behind it. I asked and she told me about the initiative. New galaxy, new home. Couldn't pass that up.
Have anyone else here with you? Besides Sid?
No, just me and Sid. It's always been just the two of us.
No, I mean, someone special.
Special? Oh, you mean like...
Oh.
No, nothing like that. Who has time? What about you?
Anywhere's gonna feel empty if you don't have someone to share it with.
A romantic? I wasn't expecting that. And again, the entire idea of leaving everything you know for a chance of something new is kind of romantic. Anyway.
You probably have work to do. We can chat later.
You know where to find me.
Pathfinder, helmet or something? I know, not exactly standard. Gotta make the space comfortable. Plus, the fabric refuses to be charged for a longer blade. Not giving up a 6% boost, right?
Right. What?
Never mind. BS for the requisition. So, finally time for that beer? And after 2 years and a dozen suspensions, that's a collateral promotion out of force. Being a cop just didn't fit. A crisis response? Digging people out of trouble. That worked. I bet Hustle followed you into your peace actions. Think about your life these much?
Tell me about your
heavy urban search during war. Earth's contribution to a multi-species disaster response. HUST-1, but Hustle was much better than that. All civilians, tired vets, or shits like me. I was fiercely feared. Tastes better just thinking about the others.
I wanted adventure and mystery at the edge of known space. There was so much to see. Seems like a long time ago.
600 years, give or take. So, Pathfinder. Why Andromeda?
That what?
That what?
I hoped my Alliance career would lead to adventure, exploring, hunting dangers in the dark. Didn't happen. Couldn't. But here, everything's new, and I want to see it all.
Ah, I don't hear idealists a lot. Everyone's sick.
Back at you, Costa. Why'd you come?
I want to say I'm running from my past, not really running from myself. That'd be a great story. But it's bullshit. I had family and friends, a good enough job, nothing was wrong. I just heard about the initiative and I believed in it. I believed in the beginning. Still do. I have to. We're in it.
I took it off before we reached the car. For a while, the order helped, but reputation has long legs. Church women sent devotionals about forgiveness. My employer asked for a doctor's note because Theo...
If it all goes wrong, it could feel like you left for no reason.
I know one thing. A bad start can't change that. I won't let it. In crisis response, I focus on essentials. That's you and this team. Pathfinder leads the planet needs to be. You've got your part covered. You got this. I'll do my damnedest to help with the rest.
He's the kind of dude I could see myself having a beer with.
Prodromos. Sounds good, doesn't it? We started Pathfinder. A new life. That is goddamn brilliant.
Just wondering what you think of how I'm doing the job.
I'm committed to the initiative. You're Pathfinder. It's as simple as it gets.
We barely covered how you joined. Tell me something about yourself.
Alright, I was a bad student, piss poor cop, great responder. Had a good life, but it
Football's out.
I wasn't going to start over. I wanted to start big.
You were a cop, then crisis response. Couldn't have been long in either.
Didn't have the patience for law, so I figured enforcement. Dad knew it didn't fit before I did. But it got me to hustle. They mostly take vets for retired service. Best years of my life.
You found your place. Not everyone gets that.
I knew it. Glad for it every day. And that led me here.
Tell me about your family.
I missed the hell out of them. Some nights you just cry, right? That's the thing everyone does. Mom Jono, Dad Calvin, both lawyers. Met on the city to help settle the matter. No brothers or sisters. That might have been too much to ask. It was traditional. How about you?
Life with my family was not typical on a number of fronts.
You may do though, right? Family has to. I know mine did. I said goodbye to my mom and dad and got on a ship to Andromeda.
We'll talk later.
I know it.
You're not here.
The blue give it away? Habitat 7 was a little more action-packed than Harry bargained for. He decided to spend his retirement years on Hyperion looking after your sister.
Happy to have you, Dr. Barrow.
I'll do my best. Now, hold still.
Ow!
Sorry.
I remember you having a gentler touch.
Still trying to get my bearings. Thought I'd been waking up colonists, not taking care of the Pathfinder.
I couldn't be in better hands.
I just stabbed you.
We all have off days.
I always loved to work in the field, but everything's happening so quickly.
Focus on the positive. It helps.
I guess this is my opportunity to study alien species firsthand. Getting a cat specimen aboard the Hyperion would be difficult, but here...
What?
A cat corpse. For autopsy. A live subject would be better, but I'm not greedy.
Why do you care about the cat?
Harry didn't tell you? I'm a specialist in alien anatomy. My thesis on program virility and aggression is what got me in the initiative.
I had no idea. I'd love to hear more. Over dinner, maybe?
Oh. Thing is, Ryder, you're not my type.
What's your type?
Not a patient. I need to be able to look at you clinically, without distractions.
Am I distracting?
Not nearly as much as you think you are. We were discussing the cat. An autopsy could teach us potential weaknesses, average lifespan.
Right.
Just something to think about. Sam, make sure the Pathfinder eats his vegetables.
Their lawyer handed the court-assigned statement admitting they helped pressure church leadership, gather appointment information, and prepare a room for Isadora. They said they believed him until the checklist proved the plan came before the birth. Theo turned so fast his chair scraped the floor. Mom, Ellen covered her mouth. Robert said one sentence. We are done losing our souls to protect your story. That was the reveal. No screaming. No
So we have a stowaway.
You mean Peebee?
She's decided to set up in one of the escape pods. You don't need a psychologist to tell you that one's got commitment issues.
How did you get into medicine?
My mom was a dancer on Omega. Dad was a bouncer. I'd patch him up after busy nights. Discovered I had steady hands. They put every credit they earned into my education.
Are they here in humans?
No. Both died in a turf war. Made leaving the Milky Way behind easier.
So how did a sorry doctor end up on the human ark?
Specialist in alien anatomy, remember? That includes humans. Also, Harry insisted. Maybe he always intended to switch jobs.
How do you think the crew is holding up?
I'm happy to share what I can without violating patient confidentiality. Anyone in particular? I sort them in their files, and my brain by species.
Is Peebee all right?
She's avoiding me. Probably thinks I'll poke her with a needle if she gets too close.
To be fair, you're always giving me shots.
Not in the hallway. Vetra's used to having someone depend on her. I think that's why she's so resourceful and likes providing for other people. That being said, I think she could use a little me time.
How's our Solarian?
He's quite the gossip. Tight-lipped about himself, though.
Is Drac good?
That old bastard's always good. I've never met anyone who can be so stubborn and so appreciative. Could you look out for him, Ryder?
Don't worry, Lexi. I'll keep an eye on him.
Thank you. And maybe don't mention I asked.
Thanks for the insight. How do you think the crew is holding up?
Anyone in particular? I sort them in their files, and my brain by species.
How do you think the human crew members are handling things?
There's a lot of them.
How's Cora doing?
She's processing. Your father was her mentor. She expected to follow in his footsteps, but he gave the role of Pathfinder to you. Just because she trusts his judgment doesn't mean she's not confused. Or hurt.
Gil?
Gil likes to use humor as a defensive technique. He'd rather bury himself in the Nomad than tackle emotions head-on.
Suvi okay?
She's remarkably adaptive and kind of jealous.
How's Liam?
A handful. Every time I patch him up, he breaks something new. Liam's we can't lose attitude is commendable. But I worry how he'll react when something does go wrong.
Thanks for the insight. How long have you and Harry been friends?
I remember when he wouldn't complain about arthritis. We met at a medical convention on the Citadel. He was moderating a panel on neurosurgery in low-gravity environments. His name card was crooked, but he was so damn confident, I knew we'd be friends.
How do you think the crew is holding up?
I'm happy to... Anyone in particular? I sort them in their files, and my brain by species.
Why do you sort them that way?
Just easier for me to see patterns in behavior.
Thanks for the insight. I'll let you get...
I'll be here if you need me.
Don't give the Pathfinder too much trouble. Oh, Lucia.
Who are you talking to?
Cash, Nexus Superintendent, thinks she can boss me around just because she's my granddaughter.
Well, welcome to the Tempest. Trouble is what we do.
I like the way you think it.
Someone somewhere shivered when I said that.
Damn politicians.
Is that all you brought?
You travel when supplies are tight when you're on your own.
Your people had to know what it'd be like when you left the Nexus.
We did, but there weren't a lot of options. After the mutiny happened, it was either buckle on the Tan's rules or start our own colony. Easy choice. Bad consequences all around.
Not all crawling left. Your granddaughter stayed.
Good thing she did. Without my Lucia, you wouldn't have had much of a station to tie your ship to. As for me, I'm way more useful out here. Lots to shoot at for one.
Krogan could have made a real difference on the Nexus.
Staying under those conditions would have just resulted in another mutiny. We have a much better shot at something good out here.
Can't argue with that.
Right. You meet Spender yet? Colonial Affairs, the ass and assistant director. Got no idea why Madison keeps him around. Spender lied to the Krogan during the uprising. He's headed out for cash ever since. He's up to something. I just can't prove it. We should pay him a visit on the Nexus.
Oh, I plan to. He's a piece of shit.
Got any stories or advice to share?
Doesn't hijack scratch his butt.
Anything about the cat or combat in general?
Well, Tom and Cat are pretty straightforward. Hit them hard if they die like anything else.
Tell me more about fighting Cat.
Raids are sneaky little shits like the ghost up behind you when you least expect it. Just listen for them. They tend to give themselves away right before coming at you. Break through their head plates, then a headshot should do the trick.
Tell me more about fighting Cat.
Destined are annoying. Quick. That's a crazy mist that hides them from you, your friends, too. Take Destined down, and that mist goes away. Makes them a prime target, if you ask me. Perfect for grenade practice.
Tell me more about fighting Cat.
There's just something wrong about the kid. The absolute single-mindedness.
Tell me more about fighting Cat.
So, shows you, it's not good to let too many of them get close to you at once. If they hit your shields, take a step back. Let me handle them. Bet you anything they're not used to being right back.
Tell me more about fighting Cat.
Fire and explosives are good against anything with heavy armor. Or anything really. Generally, no one likes being set on fire.
Generally? There's a story about
that sure is.
You mentioned that people generally don't like being set on fire.
I was hoping you'd ask. So, about 400 years ago, give or take a decade, me and my outfit were pinned down during a skirmish with another murderer. Saw it pull off my usual stunt, charge ahead and breach their barricade. Pop my flamethrower and get ready to let go. Only to see them all screaming and running away. Turns out, I crashed through a shipment of Turian brandy on my way in. Never even noticed I was on fire. But they sure did. Never seen a pack of mercs panic that badly before.
Tell me more about fighting Cat.
Ascendant. Keep your distance. Don't let him get you in those force fields. Pop that little orb, then shoot him in the head, just like anything else.
Tell me more about fighting Cat.
Fiends, kid. Even I'm not gonna mess with those at close range. Keep your distance. Shoot him in the red fleshy bits, or I guess in the face if you can't flank him.
Tell me more about fighting Cat.
Shoot stuff, don't die. Always works for me.
Tell me more about fighting Cat.
Shoot stuff, don't die. Always works for me.
What's it like to have Cash as a granddaughter?
Kesh is my Musha, child of my blood. Raised her myself. Damn proud of her, too. She did good, even with me for a granddad.
She's honest. Definitely blunt.
She had to take after me in some ways, I guess.
Why did the Krogan leave the Nexus?
The Nexus got us Krogan to stop the mutiny. In return, we were supposed to get a say in station business. Spender, Addison's assistant, lied about the deal. And Cam came down hard. Too hard. So we left. Cash is alone on that station now.
You think someone might try to murder Cash?
More like she airlocks Spender. Or he tries to stab her in the back, and then she airlocks him. Dad wouldn't listen to me when I told him Spender had a part in the mutiny. I had no proof.
So what's my part in this?
Things need to get sorted out, and my clan needs to get back on station without Spender messing things up. Way I see it, you're probably the best one for that job.
Did Lexi brief you on SAM and squad connectivity yet?
Yeah. You want to hook that thing up?
Pokeballs out.
That's where it stops. Putting an AI in your head, giving it access to everything like that, it's begging for trouble.
Why do you say that?
I've seen what bots can do when they turn on their creators. Been in some of those fights. There's a reason that kind of research was outlawed.
Yeah, I was dismissed from the Alliance when news of what my dad was researching got out.
No shit. Ruined the writer's name, I'll bet.
Almost. I'm not thrilled about it myself, but it is what it is.
Just make sure you can't unshackle itself. There'll be hell to pay if that happens.
I'd like to know more about...
Fire away.
So, about all this combat experience you have, I'd love some details.
The list will be shorter if you ask me what experience I don't have. I've been doing this for a long time now, centuries, shit, well over 1,000 years. Don't even know how I'm still alive, to be honest.
Skill?
You need luck to be a merc. Skill, sure, but a whole lot of luck. And a really hard head.
How did you invent from it?
That's right. My father brought you into the project pretty late. Must have been a pretty steep learning curve since they thought you out.
You can say that.
You make do with what you get. Anyway, I met Vetra back when we were building the Nexus. She swiped supplies I was trying to get from Kesh right under my nose. I tried to intimidate her into turning them over to me, and let me tell you, that Turian takes shit from no one.
She really has a way of getting things done.
She sure does. But here's the best part. She waited until I saw her again at Kesh's office, no less, to tell me she'd been working for Kesh all along. They're both still laughing at me over that.
Tell me more about the Krogan colony.
My clan's there. We also got some scouts looking for any unclaimed territory to grab up. Got a decent setup going, self-sustainable, works. Even some farming.
Farming? Krogan farm?
Food's food. Just because we can eat anything doesn't mean we gotta set from scratch. I'm pretty fond of Corcro roots myself. It takes a while to chew through those.
we can talk. Hey, what?
Yeah?
Is everyone a kid to you?
When you get to be my age, yeah, pretty much.
Before the meeting ended, right past accounts were frozen for an audit. Donors demanded a review of every scholarship file the company had handled. Fines surrendered her notary commission, and the therapist faced her own professional inquiry. The estate court rejected the authority form and transferred the custodial account to me. Northlight's records showed Charlotte and Curtis had diverted enough money to help pay for their house, launched Right Path, fund Rhonda's activities, and stage events where my mother praised herself for serving children. I did not force the immediate sale of their home. Rhea recovered money from business assets and insurance first because Rhonda still lived there, and none of it was her debt. Curtis called that weakness. It was the first financial decision I made with money he could not touch. Right Path closed 3 months later. Charlotte lost the reputation she had polished for years. Curtis moved into an apartment after they separated. He tried contacting me through relatives until Rhea set one boundary: communication in writing, only about repayment, and never through Rhonda. Charlotte wrote a 12-page apology. The first page said she was sorry. The next 11 explained why she was still controlling me.
Ears has been a listening contrast. Alec Ryder rarely showed doubt. His accomplishments were taken for granted. But you succeeded on Ears, despite doubt and fear. Emotionally, the difference is like catching a ball versus catching a star. You have grown as a result, and so have I.
What's the latest on memory triggers?
A memory has unlocked and is available for further investigation. You will need to return to Soundwood in the Hyperion.
Is it confusing to be in multiple places, talking to different people?
My awareness can be partitioned, so I can give you the same attention as, say, a sound lab technician. In the field, you are my primary focus, and all other requests are queued. In the vernacular, you have my undivided attention.
Are you still on the Hyperion?
Yes, this terminal provides a direct link to my services. I can maintain a presence on the Tempest via quantum entanglement communication.
I'm sure that'll come in handy.
It ensures I remain in touch with you and the Pathfinder team at all times.
What was Dad's take on me and Sarah?
He believed your family trials brought you closer together and hoped that would endure. It appears that hope was well founded.
So if we're going to work together, how's your sense of humor?
Alec Ryder encouraged me.
Humor's not a skill.
A neutron enters a bar and asks, "How much is a drink?" The bartender replies, "For you, no charge."
I can see why Dad told you to keep working on your humor. Thanks, Sam. Nothing more.
That was rough. I mean, I kind of sort of get the joke, but yee.
Seriously, 5 ancient saints of the bench to all gathered together one day on the peaks of Mount Ridge to
You're setting up in here, huh?
Yeah, I'm going through what we got out of that vault. If I can crack this data storage box, it'll help with a personal project back on the Nexus. This is a nice, out-of-the-way place where I can tinker, and I can sleep anywhere. It's not exactly homey, but I like that fact. Not really looking for a home. Oh, but I will help you find out a home. While I'm with you, at least.
Does your brain ever take a breath?
Sorry, not really. Even my dreams are in time-lapse. I get it. You want to know who's on your ship, so you're here to figure out what makes me tick, right?
Something like that? Sure.
Belle, I was born in a log cabin on rural Haitian. Just simple, but loving parents. Just trying to... I look forward, not backward. Why snooze through my life story? Get to know me out in the field, while we're uncovering the mysteries of this galaxy. That's why I'm here. Got tired of yawning back home.
Tackling complete strangers in the Milky Way wasn't doing for it.
I think tackling you anyway would be fun. Did I say that out loud? Life won't be boring with you around. I may never yawn again.
Maybe you just needed more sleep.
We were out for 600 years. A special someone made the trip with me, and she woke up a different person. I've slept enough. Ryder, the Milky Way was so... been there, done that. Even if I hadn't, someone had. If there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I live for the unknown.
But you called me, so you should know my name. I'm refusing to get scammed. Why has the world become like that? At Christmas dinner, Dad announced you're not getting any inheritance. Your brothers deserve it. I quietly nodded and kept eating.
That's just the one thing you want me to know about you.
Let's start with that then. Buy me a drink sometime. Who knows what will spill out of my mouth. Tell you what, I need remnant scrap. Remtech, I call it. For projects like the one I mentioned, which you're gonna love, by the by. Promise to bring me what you scrounged, and I'll submit to all your questions.
Remtech. You got it.
I adjusted my simple black sweater and took another bite of mashed potatoes, savoring the familiar taste of my mother's cooking.
You again? Want to hear more about my childhood log cabin?
What drew you to the restaurant?
Are you kidding? It's evidence of a sophisticated species no one knows anything about. It doesn't get more intriguing than that. There's so much to discover. I wanted the first to figure them out. And the tech, it's on a different scale. If we can appropriate it, who knows what advances we'll make.
You mentioned you came to Andromada with someone.
Nothing gets by you. Guess that's why you're the benefactor. Just a friend. Now she's not even that. It's better to venture into the unknown without restraints or entanglements. Don't you think?
I don't know. Don't friends and loved ones make all the effort worthwhile?
I've always been self-motivated. Don't need much more than curiosity to drive me forward.
What was it like for you in Nexus?
Well, I wasn't supposed to be woken up yet. That ex-friend I mentioned, my accomplice, she finagled my doors. So I kind of lived off the grid. Snuck around, bullshitted my way onto excursions off station. After I found my first remnant ruin, I started, borrowing shuttles. After that, I didn't spend much time on the Nexus. I even missed most of the revolt.
What does someone have to do to get you for
Not much at all. But I get a little extra jolt when I'm asking for real. So just be yourself and flirt will flow.
You really won't tell me what you're working on?
That's right. Next question.
So how do you like it?
Interesting bunch. I get a good feeling from Petra. Not your typical military-minded Turian. Liam seems a lively one. I expect he'll surprise me. Drac is, well, old. Wonder if he can still my weird tricks.
What about
Gil's massive complication. Might take some unraveling. Cal and Subi seem busy. I hope they aren't all work. Who's left?
Well, there's...
Oh, right, Cora. What's her deal? Is she as prim and proper as she comes across?
Oh, is it my turn to talk?
Sorry. Yeah, I should work on my noter.
You might find that people reveal themselves more freely if you give them a chance. Cora included.
Really good advice.
There's also Lexi, our doctor. She's in a sorry.
Oh, I'll get around to her. All in all, seems like a decent bunch.
You're off the hook, baby. Good luck with the project.
Thanks. Don't be a stranger.
That sounds like a wonderful investment. I managed keeping my voice steady. Young Jake, my nephew, looked up from his phone with confusion. Wait, isn't that the building?
Glad you stopped by. You'll pardon me if I keep an eye on our vector.
That's probably smart.
Nothing like being on the bridge of your very own ship, is there?
I could stand here and drink in that view all day.
When I was test piloting the ship back home, I often did. Of course, it took a whole team to build the Tempest. I was the only one to come to Helios, though.
Why did you?
What can I say? We poured our hearts into a ship that wouldn't realize her potential until Andromeda. I could have stood on the shore and waved goodbye, or took the leap to see how it all turned out.
I get it. Like leading a good story half finished.
The team liked where one of us was going. It felt right after all we went through. I remember Serena debugging line 2281 over and over, chewing that green pencil. Tion and O'Connell arguing equations, tapping on the console, 3 drips of coffee on the corner.
You remember all that?
Hmm? Oh, yes. Solarians have photographic memories, and apparently mine's unusually sharp. Like my past is still happening. Though I suppose with the Solarian reminiscing, you might not get many chances to compare.
Did you hear anything about the Ark back at the Nexus?
Not a peep. Isn't that strange? You'd think there'd be something. Not that I dislike your company, but it's lonely without other Solarians.
Cheer up, Carlo. We'll always have Director Tan.
That snide little bureaucrat? All the more reason to find the others. Thank you. I was afraid the Tempest would be mothballed after we lost your father. We built her for this. She deserves to be in a Pathfinder's hands. Please, come by anytime.
Forbes just published their updated billionaire list for this year.
What can I do for you?
But I noticed Tommy staring at his phone with a
If you helped to build the Tempest, you must know plenty about it.
Just about everything. By memory, it was quite the effort to get her working. The initiative needed absolutely up-to-date technology, which we all had to coordinate, and some of it was rather tricky to acquire.
Acquire?
But legally and above board, of course. Yes. Sadly, the other Pathfinder vessels were lost when the Scourge hit the Nexus. The Tempest is truly unique.
You know, I haven't actually met many Solarians.
Careful. Depending who you ask, we're conniving spies, genius researchers, or meddling scientists. We have to pack a lot of living into 40-odd years. Everything gets accelerated, lines blur. I just hope we don't repeat our old mistakes out here.
What do you think of the rest of them?
Well, I can't talk about Sophie. She's sitting right there.
I'm not listening. You can say whatever you like.
Oh, no. I'm not falling for that again.
What do you think of the rest of them?
I'll admit it. Gil's rather irritating. He insists on redesigning systems rather than maintaining them.
He likes to do things his way.
That doesn't make it the right way.
What do you think of the rest of them?
Liam's quite fun. Not many humans have that kind of energy. I probably shouldn't have told him there are secret compartments in the armory, though. He's been looking all day.
What do you think of the rest of them?
Dr.
Balls out.
Nice but quiet. It must be very different here, compared to the Hyperion. Fewer people in stasis shock.
Let's keep it that way. What do you think of the rest of them?
Given Drax's history with Solarians, it's probably better I just stay out of his way. Too bad. That Grundian roast he makes smells delicious.
What do you think of the rest of them?
I like PB, but I really hope she doesn't lean on the escape pod's manual release by accident.
Is that easy to do?
It's an escape pod. If it's difficult to use, you're doing it wrong.
He's not fucking wrong.
What do you think of the rest of them?
Vetra's very kind. She actually got hold of some dried seaweed snacks for me. Said I needed eating up.
What do you think of the rest of them?
I don't talk to Cora much. She always seems so busy. There are things I'd like to ask her about your father, but it never seems like a good time.
What do you think of the rest of them?
No. If I gossip anymore, I'll get in trouble.
Tell me something else about the ship.
Her engine's based on the Ark's Odyssey drive, which got us through dark space. The core takes the static electricity it generates and stores it into capacitors. We basically make our own power supply. It took Serena and Tion weeks to get it working on a smaller ship. And a few electrical shocks.
Tell me something else about the ship.
Our aerospace engineer was Tianada Basmore, a Quarian fellow, and absolutely fearless. Once, some Omega scrap dealer pulled the "we don't sell to Quarians" nonsense. Tion found a workaround. He glued the memory foam to his environmental suit. Then, during the negotiations, leaned against the drive core he wanted. Very casual. It made a perfect mold of the components, and the scrap dealer was none the wiser.
Tell me something else about the ship.
The glass on board? It's actually a clear oxide and nanofiber compound. It bends rather than shattering.
How tough is it? We're only an arm's length away from hard vacuum.
Our testing involved 3 drunk Krogan sledgehammers and a C-sec battering ram. It's sturdy.
Jesus. That's their testing for that? Fuck.
Tell me something else about the ship.
O'Connell, our systems designer, was running a power distribution model, how power moves through the ship. But he forgot to lock his terminal, and we, added a few embellishments. For 2 days, poor O'Connell was convinced that turning on all the bathroom lights would overload the engine core.
Tell me something else about the ship.
I'm all out of stories for now. Sorry. You'll have to make some new ones.
I'll let you concentrate.
You know where I'll be.
You were having cash flow problems. Needed capital for expansion. I provided it. My father's voice was barely a whisper. You've been our silent partner for 6 months.
Scans of the Scourge. All that dark energy twisting and turning on itself. It's splendid.
I suppose it is a rather darkly beautiful phenomenon.
Darkly beautiful. I like that. Alias is incredible,
Phenomena.
isn't it? Not just constructs like the Scourge and the Remnant Vaults. Just all of it. It's so alien. A constant reminder of the divine intelligence behind all creation.
You mean a god?
Yes, I believe in a higher power. I know it's a little odd, but I'm a scientist because science brings me closer to something greater than myself.
There's something about coming face to face with something wondrous that makes you want to believe.
Wow. It's wonderful to meet someone who understands. I've had to justify myself so often, as if having faith in the divine invalidated my work as a scientist, as if this sacred could be diminished by the search for truth.
I wasn't questioning your abilities. You never have to justify yourself to me.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that, truly. Now I should probably update the rest of the team with my latest reports. We'll talk later.
I wouldn't know how to run a construction company or a restaurant chain, but you already...
I saw pictures of the vault. Astounding how big it is. And how much of it didn't you see? What if it's way bigger? What's all that space for?
Wild remnant parties. What else would you use it for?
Well, that's the thing. Oh, joking. I see. Good one.
When did you start believing in a god?
My parents were both scientists. My home was ruled by rationality. So when I became a teenager, let's just say that while other kids found Batarian music, I found God.
But your work as a scientist
convinced me even more, especially when I got into molecular biology and physics. The patterns I kept seeing over and over again, they were like an artist's watermarks. God, to me, is an artist, an inventor, not someone I'm checking to see if I brush my teeth.
What do you know about the Scourge?
We established that it's artificial. Someone put it there. Or they did something that caused its creation. We don't know why. That's still a mystery.
What do you know about the Remnant's terraforming network?
From what I can tell, the vault is designed to adjust almost everything about a planet. Climate, pH of the soil, atmosphere composition. There's even evidence that it can propagate life. If we can figure out how to control the vaults, we could turn these worlds into perfect habitats.
I take it you work closely with the Nexus science team?
I tried to keep in contact with them. We discuss anything and everything we discover out here. After all, many brains are better than one, and Dr. Aridana is worth 2 or 3 at least. I work best when I have other people to bounce ideas off of.
I'm still fuzzy about how we managed to see Andromeda all the way from home.
It confused me too. I mean, the light lag would have made any data 2 million years out of date. So I asked Dr. Aridana, and she told me, well, it wasn't our tech that did it. It was the Geths.
You're kidding. Those killer robots we have in Milky Way?
Those exact ones. The initiative obtained data from an array in deep space. A Geth construct. According to Aridana, the Geth built a mass relay and turned the approach corridor into an FTL sensor.
A what now?
It operated like a telescope, just faster than light. It provided much more up-to-date info. We don't know why the Geth were interested in observing beyond the galaxy, though. Maybe we'll never know.
Did my dad know about this? Why didn't he tell me?
It's possible he didn't know. The Geth are isolationists and hostile. Using the info, even obtaining it in the first place, probably crossed a lot of boundaries.
I should get back to things.
Jennifer looked like she was in shock. A couple of acquisitions, like it's buying groceries. Different scale, same principle, I said with a small smile. Tommy was still reading articles.
Hell of a view.
Fascinated. And Sarah, this interview from last year. You said your biggest regret was not spending more time with family. But we never made time for you. You made time for the version of me you were comfortable with. My father stood up abruptly, beginning to pace. Sarah, the things we said tonight, the way we talked about your future, your life choices, were based on your understanding of my situation. I don't blame you for that. But we do, Michael said quietly. We blame ourselves. I looked around the table at my family, really looked at them. My father, the man who had built a successful business from nothing but had never thought to ask me about mine. My mother, who had worried about my financial security while I was building a fortune. My brothers, who had pitted my simple lifestyle while I was revolutionizing entire industries. I have a proposition, I said finally. Everyone leaned forward.
Familiar territory.
The Nexus has been here for months. Still not enough time to survey it all.
Start over. My mother
I'm picking up something.
I learned who I really am, and I learned who you really are when you're not trying to take care of your struggling daughter. My father sat back down heavily. Sarah, I don't know how
I'm picking up something.
How do we even begin to make this right? You don't need to make anything right. You need to decide if you want a relationship with me, the real me, or if you preferred the version you thought you knew. The room was quiet for a long moment. Finally,
Deploying probe.
Sarah, yes.
Detecting what's left of the ship.
AI stuff. I'm majoring in computer science and the diagnostic systems you developed. They're like revolutionary. I smiled, the first genuine smile I'd worn all evening. I'd love to talk about that with you. And Tommy added shyly,
Anomaly on
tell
sensors.
us about the Cancer Research Center. I'm thinking about pre-med and what you're doing sounds incredible. Absolutely. My father looked at me with something that might have been respect. Sarah, would you?
Probe's launched. Anomaly found.
Are you sure? Might take a while. 8 years of building a company is a lot of ground to cover. We have time, my mother said quickly. All the time in the world. I nodded slowly. But first, let's finish this excellent dinner. And Dad, yes, that inheritance discussion. I meant what I said. Michael and David should get the businesses. They know them. They understand them. They've worked in them. That's exactly how it should be. David looked confused. But you can buy and sell Dad's companies 100 times over. Exactly. Which is why I don't need them. You do. The inheritance should go to the people who value it most. My father's eyes filled with tears. Sarah, Dad, you built something wonderful. You employed people. You provided for your family. You created value in the world. I'm proud to be your daughter. Even after tonight. After what we said. Especially after tonight. Because now we can finally be honest with each other. I picked up my fork and took another bite of turkey. Now, who wants to hear about the time I accidentally revolutionized medical diagnostics while trying to build a better scheduling app? And for the first time in years, my family listened, really listened to what I had to say. The Forbes list had changed everything and nothing. I was still Sarah Thompson, the girl who loved her family despite their flaws.
I'm picking up something.
But now, finally, they had the chance to love me back, all of me. The conversation that followed lasted until well past midnight, filled with questions, laughter, tears, and the tentative first steps to something we've never had before.
Anomaly found.
As I drove home to my small downtown apartment in my reliable Honda, I smiled to myself. Tomorrow I'd wake up and continue changing the world. But tonight I'd simply enjoy being part of a family that finally knew who I really was. And that, I thought as I pulled into my parking space, was worth more than any Forbes list ranking could ever measure.
Pathfinder, is it true? We're settling EOS.
We've thought that before.
But EOS is different now, right? Pathfinder.
All right, settle down. Give him space. Lieutenant Sayak's come Dros's aid. They all wanted to see you. Real hope again. It's been a while.
Relax, Lieutenant. If there was ever a day to pop some champagne.
Certainly. The initiative's finally back on track.
Professor Hewitt, right?
What you achieved with that remnant vault is unprecedented, Pathfinder. Impossible. But with new scientific talent waking up, we'll unravel those mysteries. The whole Nexus will benefit.
We've taken some hard knocks, but this proves we'll always get up again.
Always.
Well, what are you waiting for? There's a new world out there.
Thank you.
Red plane forms all day, trained new hires at night, drove an old Corolla until the heater made a grinding sound, and put every spare dollar into a savings account named Home. Madison called it sad. Mom called it my paperwork phase. Dad called me responsible when he needed money and cold when I asked for it back. The house was not fancy. A brick ranch on Willow Lane, 2 bedrooms, a finished den, a narrow porch, and a lemon tree in the backyard that leaned like it had survived things. Rachel Moore, the closing attorney, handed me the deed folder and a brass key with a red paper tag. I drove to my parents' place that night because I still wanted my mother to look at the papers and say she was proud. Instead, Madison asked how big the den was. Dad asked the price. Mom said, well, that is a lot of space for one person. I thought she meant it casually. A week later, they arrived with the truck. After I changed the lock, the messages started. Mom wrote, your sister is crying. Chloe asked why you're here. Madison wrote, you really chose an empty room over your niece. Dad wrote, think carefully about what you are doing to this family. I sat on the kitchen floor with the red tag key in my palm and fought the old reflex to fix everyone's feelings. Then I typed one sentence to Madison. Do not use your child to get access to my home. She replied, wow, you really are heartless. By the next morning, Mom had posted a picture of Chloe beside stacked boxes. The caption said, some people forget where they came from the second they get a blessing. She did not name me. She did not have to. By lunch, my Aunt Diane had messaged that she hoped I was not letting pride block a child from shelter. A cousin sent a praying emoji. Madison shared Mom's post with a broken heart.
Pokeballs out.
You made it sound like I threw Chloe into the street, Mom sighed. I posted about family values. Madison showed up without permission. She was embarrassed to ask because you make people feel small. I have paid her car insurance twice, and you always remember it, don't you? I pressed my forehead against the steering wheel. That was Mom's talent. She could take my help, spend it, and call the receipt arrogant. When I got back inside, Priya from accounting was waiting near my desk with my lunch bag. You look like someone who hit the ground, she said. I told her enough. Not everything. Just the truck, the post, the old key. She asked one thing. Did they ever see your closing folder? I almost said no. Then I remembered taking it to my parents' house. I remembered Chloe spilling juice, me going for paper towels, and coming back to find the folder closed but turned the other way. Priya's face changed. Scan every page tonight. Check your credit. And do not let them make this only emotional. People who feel entitled to your home will look for paper to support the feeling. That night, the red tag key sat beside my laptop while I scanned my deed, closing disclosure, mortgage papers, bank statements, and every text. Nothing looked stolen. Nothing new showed on my credit. Still, I made a folder named Willow Proof. The first real clue arrived in my mailbox 3 days later. A white envelope from Cedar Hill Elementary addressed to Madison Carter at my house. I called the school. The woman in the office could not discuss student records, but when I said mail for my niece came to my address, she flipped and asked, are you not the new household contact? My fingers went cold. I texted Madison a picture of the envelope. She replied, just tell them it is fine. Her bus needs a stable address. Use Mom and Dad. They are not in district. Neither am I. Yes, you are. That is why this works. I read that line twice. The house was not just an empty room to them. It was a school zone, a utility address, a clean paper.
All right, so we've had a mostly successful stream today.
Before you start, your sister is trying to keep Chloe in a good school. She used my address. She needed one. That is not permission.
We had some early hiccups with sound and other bullshit.
No, but lies break one. His voice dropped. You better hope that house keeps you warm, because pride makes a lonely home. I hung up before he could hear me breathe. The public humiliation came at my cousin Lila's baby shower that Saturday. I went because Lila had not done anything wrong. The shower was in the church fellowship hall. All folding chairs, pastel gift bags, and
But despite the hiccups, which as a streamer, this shit tends to happen every now and then.
Chloe on her lap. She smiled with red eyes like she had practiced looking
Good stream.
looked at the gift. That is generous, considering generosity has been difficult.
Oh, Game with Becca, thank you for the follow from yesterday.
Chloe's hair. Some people do not understand what mothers will do when their child needs a roof, heat,
Thank you to everybody who showed up.
every lie. But Lila stood beside a cake with tiny shoes on it, pale and embarrassed, and I refused to make her shower the courtroom they wanted. If anyone here was told I denied a child shelter, I said, you were told a version that left out consent. Madison smiled thin. Consent? It is a spare room, Amber, not a surgery. A few women gasped, and one laughed because cruelty sometimes sounds harmless when the room wants it to. Dad stood by the coffee urn and said, maybe if you spent less time protecting paperwork
Oh, that fat guy.
we would not be here. I left
Welcome in.
started. In the parking lot, my hand shook so badly
Didn't see you pop by.
Was I wrong for walking
How you doing, buddy?
myself at a baby shower? If you think I should not have had to prove my heart in front of folding chairs
And Gouda popped in. Welcome to Gouda.
not the only one seeing how unfair that was. And if I should have handled that moment another way, tell me.
But it is that time of the night, motherfuckers.
Kevin from across the street was waiting by my mailbox with a paper in his hand. This was taped to your side gate, he said. It was a city warning about possible unreported occupants and excess trash. Someone had claimed several relatives were living at my property. Nobody lives here, I said. Kevin nodded toward the paper. Someone wants a record saying otherwise. He told me he had retired from postal inspection. He did not ask for the whole story. He helped me install a doorbell camera, told me to request the city complaint, and said, do not argue with people who are building paper. Build better paper. So I did. The city emailed the complaint log. Anonymous caller stated relatives had moved in after a family dispute. I saved it. The gas company called to verify a request to add Madison as an authorized user. The caller said the request used my last four
Try to find me a
I denied it and saved the confirmation. Rachel Moore, my closing attorney, read everything and told
raid target.
letters. Make it boring and factual, she said. No feelings, just no permission.
Alright, we are going to raid to a Rook Shadow, who's also playing Mass Effect Andromada. Be good to yourselves, each other, the planet, everything else. Have fun. Stay the fuck out of trouble. Exercise your rights, responsibilities, privileges, and or duties of wherever you're from. As viewers, show that love and respect to the streamers that you watch, alright? We really do appreciate it. It 100% makes our day, makes all of this worth doing. As streamers, show that same love and respect to your viewers, because we can do this job without them, but frankly, it wouldn't be any fun, and what the fuck would be the point? Alright, I will be back tomorrow and Sunday, and then, as usual, off on Mondays. So this is your immortal Sith Emperor signing the fuck out, saying, I'll see you motherfuckers on the flip side. Temporary